race. While most runners his age would step away from the race, he's got 2 reasons to keep going. He says it's fun, and he credits running to him beating cancer. He had been running marathons and long distance races for 13 years already when he was diagnosed.
I ran because it was kind of fun, and it was camaraderie. We were out drinking and partying, having a good time out on the trails. But then in 1993, I was diagnosed with cancer of the larynx, laryngeal cancer. And the doctor said that the reason I can still speak at all was because my running allowed blood to flow up around my neck that most people don't have. So once that happens, you keep running.
Bertson says to keep an eye out for the older-looking guy with a big smile on his face. His expected time of arrival to the finish line is 6 hours and 30 minutes, give or take. And we want to tell you about one of the youngest runners
Streets, up and down the neighborhood hills, across the river and around downtown. The runners, elite competitors, and everyday athletes. People on a mission or out for fun. This morning, they're ready to run. The Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon, right now. On WATE 6 on your side, race coverage is presented by the Garza Law Firm.
And hello, everyone. I'm Bo Williams.
I'm Lori Tucker. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, we're getting ready to bring you live team coverage of the 2023 Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon.
That's
and
right.
We have a special guest.
Christy Altman joins us right now from the Running Altmans. If there is
Yes.
a race, the Altmans are involved. That is for sure.
We've been running all weekend,
Yes,
that's
you-
for sure.
Yeah, that is for sure.
We're so lucky to have you guys, though. Your husband is the big race guru, running the whole thing, and literally and figuratively.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're here to help with our coverage. We're going to be here for the next 4 hours, so we're so glad you got up early.
I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. A cool morning, which we heard from
Perfect.
Jason during Good Morning Tennessee. It is perfect for the
It
runners.
is perfect for runners. So it's a little cold for anybody hanging out right now,
Right.
but this is perfect for the runners. They probably will all start out with an extra layer. They'll start to throw those by the time they get to Neyland Drive.
Right.
And, but it's going to be a great day. The weather looks perfect all day long. This is a great start for them, and it's not going to be too hot. So it'll get a little bit warmer, but we're not going to be as worried about having to change the flags out and go to like a red warning for the heat. So it should be a great day.
You do have those color-coded warnings,
That's
so
right.
yeah, we're glad it's okay. Hey, we're getting ready
Yep.
to start the whole ceremony and all of that as the race kicks off, but we're here at the start line. That's where runners are starting to gather.
And this
Clinch
is where
Avenue,
the
viaduct
adrenaline
there.
is going. You're going through your head. You've been training for weeks. You're just ready to go. I mean, this is kind of that last minute. You're getting with your friends, taking a few snapshots as well. So a lot going through your head until that race starts.
Oh, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole day is leading up to 7:30 because folks are coming through and you see folks sometimes just once a year, and this is the day that you see them one time a year. And like you said, taking pictures. I was going through my Facebook memories this morning and there were some photos of you from several years ago where
my
we were
gosh.
taking pictures at the start
That's
line.
right.
So everybody's getting geared up. We've got space. They can check off their bags there they can come back and pick up later on in the day. And then they're inside too, staying warm. But this is really the next 30 minutes. There's a great excitement there.
Yeah, Bo, we're proud of you for doing that half marathon.
It was a
That is
long
so
time ago.
cool.
It's time to do another one, I have to admit.
I
It is time
think
to do
you
another one.
should.
Yes.
Christy, take us through. Okay, this is the starting line. So at 7:30 is when everything kicks off. But let's talk about what's going to happen leading up to that.
Sure. So right now, everyone's just kind of gathering, and you can maybe see a little bit in the shot behind where the camera is where the corrals are going to be set up as well. So folks to have on their bib, we line them up by time. So the folks who are going to be faster are going to be in the very front. That way they can get out fast. And then the folks who might be walking are going to be towards the back of the pack. So they'll line up that way with their corrals. And at about 7:15, I think, we'll have the mayor go up and speak, and then Jim Vandersteeg from Covenant Health will speak. We'll have someone from Mortgage Investors Group speak to everyone. We have a wonderful anthem singer. She does a great job, so she'll be
Beautiful
up there.
voice.
She's a great voice. And they'll play some really fun music over the next little bit.
Right.
And then you'll hear Jason's voice start to just rise a little bit as we get closer. And then when they get ready to go, you can hear it in his voice as well. I mean, that's the thing. Gosh, we've been involved with this since the very first year. He ran the very first marathon.
Wow.
And I ran the very first 5K. And then we've either volunteered or worked for the track club since then. And so, but there's always that, even with us, there's that little feeling, your little heart starts to flutter,
Oh,
little
that's so
tears
exciting.
as the anthem is saying. And then when they fire everything off, we both always are like, wiping the corners of our eyes.
You mentioned corrals. For people that don't understand, real quick, what is a corral?
So a corral is just a designated area for people who are running or walking the event so that we can line them up by the time that they predict that they'll finish. That way we're not getting someone who's predicting the 6.5 hours. We're not putting him right up front.
Right.
So
Right.
he's going to be more like corral D, a
Right.
little further back. That way, again, the
Faster
idea is
runners
that
at the
nobody is going to run over each other. We do it with the kids and we do it with the adults because it's just the easiest way to go. But we
I've
put the
often
faster
wondered
guys
about
up
that.
front.
Yeah, makes sense.
We try to put the faster guys up front. We know they're going to do a few last minute strides anyway,
Right.
so they're going to want that roadway. And then the folks who have said that they're going to be a little bit slower, we start to move them back
It's me
behind
and you,
there.
Lori. We're back in Corral D.
I am cheering people on at the finish line. Are
That's
you
right,
kidding me?
that's right.
Yeah, we all have our gifts, right?
That's right.
I don't know what mine is yet, but we'll find out. Don Hudson is down there mingling with the folks. I'm sure he's done some warm-ups. I'm sure he's kind of running. Don, can you hear us? Let's check in. Let us know what you're up to.
Yeah, Yes, I have. I've been taking a very informal survey. We're on, by the way, for people that know where, we're at Clinch and 14th, and over my shoulder you can see the start, where the marathon will start. They got to come right up this hill, so we're probably 5 blocks at the 5-block mark or so when people are running. I've had about 12 people walk by, headed to the marathon. I've been asking them. A couple are running the half, 4 or 5. This is their very first marathon, so you could tell they're really excited. And as someone who's run a marathon or two, you just got to pace yourself. If it's your first time, you get so excited because we're right on that edge where you can kind of hear the music. So when you're down there and you're hearing the music and the speakers and people are yelling on the megaphone, it gets you got to just calm down, ease into it. We've seen all the police. They've got all the roads blocked off, making sure that everybody has a safe run. It's chilly out here, as you guys know when you came into work, which is probably better than being too hot to start off chilly, but going to be a nice day for a marathon because I don't see a cloud in the sky.
Yes, it is, and quite a change from not even 24 hours ago.
Yeah, boy, yesterday, with the winds and everything else, it would have been a tough run, that is for sure.
We thought about you guys. Did you have conversations about this? And maybe
for yesterday afternoon, well, there's always a plan B, C, D. So, we have great partnerships with the fire department, with the police department, with the city of Knoxville. And so there's always backup plans for everything. We've had some years that on Saturday where we had to delay the 5K for 45 minutes because of rain and thunderstorms. Yesterday, what we did is we did not put up any banners around the finish line or the start line because it would take them down, and so those just stayed bare like a skeleton of what they should be. So this morning you'll see all the banners are up and everything looks fantastic. But we did talk about what the conditions would be on the courses and whether or not we should put a delay on them or cancel them. In the end we decided that the course itself seemed safe because it was in between the buildings. We were just at more of a risk on the open bridge and the lawn. Yeah. So, but we always have those conversations every year before and leading up to. And I mentioned the flags, and so we have a flag status. Green means go. Everything is great. Good. We have had to change the flags to red before because of heat and because of weather. So every year is a different adventure.
All right. Well, green means go right now. So
yeah, that is for sure. And for the first 13.1 miles, you got the marathoners and the half marathoners. Laura, you and I had a chance to get out and see this firsthand.
Let's let
Christy's
people
husband,
know,
Jason.
though. Yes, it should have been carpool karaoke because we got in the car and we thought, well, we'll run a little bit. No, we had Jason do that part. We drove.
That's right.
Take a look.
Green marks the spot, the starting line for the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. We're here on the Clinch Avenue Bridge.
And wouldn't you know, it starts off on a hill.
Yeah.
Is this the worst one?
No, not at all. We start heading west through Fort Sanders here on Clinch Avenue Bridge. What goes up must come down, but this is not the toughest hill.
We know where the toughest hill is, actually. You want to go?
Let's do it.
Let's go check it out. We zip down Cumberland to Kingston Pike through beautiful Sequoia Hills.
Emphasis on hills.
This is it. This is the hill. Woo.
Yeah, this is the one we all think about in our minds. So tell me real quick, how long, what are the dimensions here?
So we're at Knowlton. This is about 1/3 of a mile long.
Okay.
There is a little bit of a break on the middle part of the hill here, but it goes all the way up to Kingston Pike. We've got Knowlton, just like Boston has their Heartbreak Hill. When people are training, when they're getting ready, what they're fearing, what they lose sleep about, it's going up Knowlton.
Yeah, this
all
is
right, Mr. Race Organizer. Why don't you run it, and we'll meet you at the top in the car.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you.
All right.
Y'all just going to leave me here?
Yep. Wonder how long it's going to take him.
Oh, man, we could have lunch by the time we get up here waiting for him.
Probably. He's a good runner, though.
Not that good.
He's pretty good.
Hey, wait a minute.
What?
I've been waiting on y'all. Where have you been?
Get in the car.
All we can say, it's a good thing we're mostly driving this thing.
Yeah, from Knowlton, which, as you saw, puts the hill in Sequoia Hills, we then hung a ride on Kingston Pike and headed back toward downtown. So we've moved now to the Fort Sanders area. You have run Knowlton. You have run the Greenway. You're cruising along. We're here along 22nd, and then...
Well, you get here and you think, okay, the worst is over, but that's not true.
You know, people always think about Knowlton when they're training, but what they neglect to do is prepare for the hills late in the race. You get to the Fort Sanders neighborhood, especially if you're doing, say, the half marathon. Right. You've got less than 2 miles to go, the lactic acid is built up in your legs, and you're not quite ready for the ups and downs of Fort Sanders.
Got to be ready for Fort Sanders. You
oh
always
my
forget
goodness.
about that.
Yeah, because we thought, okay, Sequoia Hills, boy, Knowlton is quite the hill, but then, yeah, you're not finished.
Yeah, you're not finished.
No,
It
coming
sneaks up on you.
Park is, it's a long climb.
It could definitely be something. Hey, real quick, want to check in with our own Don Dare. He's at the convention center right now with a lot of the runners that are getting ready to head out and tackle some of those hills. Don?
Hey, Don.
Hi, Bo and Lori, and this is inside the convention center. Here's what we're doing. We're stretching our legs, and as you can see over here, you can see everyone gathered inside here. Lots of individual groups that will be running both the marathon, the half marathon, and the relays. Over here to the right is a group of folks. Who are you all with?
We're with Fleet Feet, Knoxville.
Fleet Feet, Knoxville. Look at this crowd here. We've got the young ringer over here. We've got the big tall guy that everyone's going to be watching. And we have a whole group of, are you all ready?
We are ready. We are ready.
Who's going to win?
Him.
You are. You're going to win.
We'll try our best here.
And what's your time before?
I've run 2:26 for the marathon before.
And your name is?
I'm Seth Colasso.
Wow, 2:26.
Passing of the torch for this guy.
How did you get hit? This is Ralph Pillager. And Ralph, how did you get this guy?
We got this guy through this guy. Shaheen is the one that owns the store. He's the one that has he's brought the environment. And when you have a good environment, you end up with top tier people.
Now, you all don't work for this running store, but you run as a group, is that correct?
That's not correct. Some of them work for us, the rest are part of our training program. So the three of us right here actually work. Okay. They're my lead outfitters, and then the rest of the folks are part of our training program.
And this training program is basically for wellness, is it not?
Absolutely. It's a 12-week program, get you ready for a relay or a half. Some of the folks haven't been running for several years, and they're just back into running it. So a lot of us do run walk, and it's all about finishing and having a great time, except for Seth. Seth is going for the win.
You're going for the win?
Yes, sir, I am, yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I feel ready to go.
You're going to be at the front?
Yes, sir.
The lady behind you, are you going to be watching him?
Oh, of course. I'm going to climb on his back and run with him.
Fleet Feet, you all are ready, and we'll be watching you for the next 2 hours and 22 minutes for you. And maybe 4 hours for some of you back here, maybe 3 hours for you. What a great group. Thank you all, and good luck in the race today. And what an exciting morning this is going to be, Bo and Lori. Fleet Feet is ready to go, and so are a lot of other groups that are running in the relay races as well as the marathon and half marathon today. Back to you.
Oh, Don, thank you so much. Hey, we see some of the hand cyclists here now.
Yeah.
And this is really quite something. I love that they're represented here, getting ready to go. These are incredible athletes. These are 3-wheel bikes, 1 wheel in front of the rider, 2 behind the athlete. And this is for people with certain spinal problems and other issues that prevent them from running, but can still take part in the race. And let me tell you, this upper body strength is unbelievable.
Yeah, that is for sure. As a matter of fact, our own Good Morning Tennessee, Tirsa Smith, had a chance to catch up with some of them to show us how they train.
It takes grit to push past a life-changing injury.
So I started out at Patricia Neal, was injured while working as a wildland firefighter, and in 2002 came back and did my rehab at Patricia Neal, and really was very into sports before I was injured. And so I was kind of looking for something to bridge the gap to give me purpose after my injury.
Carly Pearson found that purpose. Since 2009, she's competed in the hand cycle portion of the Knoxville Marathon. She was introduced to the sport through the Patricia Neal Innovative Recreation Cooperative. It gave her the challenge she craved.
There is definitely a difference. Your arm muscles are much smaller, obviously, than your leg muscles. So running versus using a hand cycle to propel is very different, but it's just like anything else. The more you train, the more that you practice, the better you're going to become. And at first it feels like you're, climbing Kilimanjaro, but then eventually it gets better.
Alkay runs the IRC.
Well, the first thing is they have to come. So once they get there and they see others, because there's always peers around, we do intro clinics as well as some advanced clinics. So the sports that we work on are more individualized, water skiing, snow skiing. We do some adaptive climbing, paddling, golf. We have a marksmanship program.
It's sort of a hub to find local opportunities for adaptive programs.
The IRC is a community involvement group. The mission of the IRC is to help individuals that have physical challenges to learn life skills through recreation and adaptive sports. So what I brought are 3 different types of skiing, and this is considered a beginner ski. If you can get a person who has had some type of trauma or life challenge, involved in themselves, involved in their health, then they will be more invested in their own care. They'll have decreased recidivism back into having to go into the hospital for general health issues.
Pearson, who is a former champion of the race, says the Knoxville Marathon is one of the most brutal courses, but she loves the thrill.
Here I am, back suffering again with thousands of other runners. And I love the camaraderie too of that, of being involved and being included in something where even though I may not be running, I'm able to ride alongside other runners and be outside and enjoy the outdoors.
All made possible by adapting to where life has taken her. For Health Watch, Tirsa Smith, WATE, 6 on your side.
Oh, we're going to be watching Carly. We see some of the other hand cyclists there gathering. And by the way, you don't have to have had rehab at Patricia Neal to be a part of this IRC program. Kids and adults can ask about their adaptive sports services as well. Just contact the Innovative Recreation Cooperative and they'll get you all set up. In the meantime, we've got a crew down there. They're actually already close to the finish line.
We do.
They positioned themselves well.
And hopefully they're going to see this crew that you see there, the hand cyclists first, because I do want to point this out. They're going to leave 3 minutes before everybody else does.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we do want to go down to World's Fair Park. We have Lexi and Allison down there. Guys, how are things? It's almost showtime.
Uh-oh. Cat's got your tongue. I'm not sure what's happening
we'll hear them here in a second. That's right. That's right.
You guys.
But they are there at the, and that is the goal, Christy, for everybody. That is the finish line. World's Fair Park. That's where we're wanting to go. That's what we're thinking about.
Everybody wants to get there. We want to get to the start line, but then we want to get to the finish line.
Right.
And for some people it's going to be super quick, and some it's going to take a little longer. But it's when you come around the corner and you see the stanchion there, and all of the people are screaming.
Yes.
It's a really good moment.
Let's talk about times because we saw some people who are the fastest. So those in the front. What's a good time? What's a great time for an elite athlete for a marathon?
Good for the marathon. We have had as fast as a 2:22 on this course.
Okay.
Now that's been
and
several
you heard
years.
Seth Colasso say just a little while ago from Lenore City that that's what he's shooting for.
He's trying. He wants to make he wants to get an Olympic trial qualifier time. I believe that's a 2:19 these days.
Oh my goodness.
So he wants this could be a tune-up for his training.
A tune-up.
But so these athletes will run several marathons trying to get that Olympic trial qualifier, and then they will run with the best in the country next year in Indianapolis, Indiana, in February, and whoever wins that top 3 male and female go on to make the Olympic team for us. So it's we've had several athletes from here make the trials.
Right.
It's amazing.
And we've been several times to watch it, so it's really great to go out of town, but see your hometown friends.
Yes.
And it's such an amazing event.
So that's the top time. What's a time that you can brag about?
They're all a time if you're going to do 26.2, you can brag about
brag about
whatever
anything,
time
right?
it is.
4 hours, 5 hours, doesn't matter.
You are. You're going to have, I think my first marathon I ran 5 hours and 18 minutes, and I've run as fast as 4 hours, I think, in 13 minutes.
Wow.
And, you know, so if you're going to complete the 26.2, even the 13.1, you got bragging rights all day long.
This is true.
But we're going to see, you'll see anything on this course in particular from maybe 225. Depending, if he's having a great day, he could get close to that. And we're going to see people go all the way to the 7-hour time limit.
Sure.
Okay. Let's go back to World's Fair Park now. We'll check in with Lexi and Allison. Hey, guys.
Hey, we're back. Okay, so things have been going really well here. Looks like they're getting ready to start the program too. We've been jamming out. We've seen a lot of people warming up this morning, getting their stretching in, running around, wearing shorts, which seems a little risky.
It is a little risky, you know. Again, Allison and I did test out parts of the course this morning for everyone, wink, wink, in our cars. But nonetheless, hey, things are looking great here this morning. Yes, a little chilly, but we know this is really going to be the perfect weather for those marathon, half marathon runners. This is what they're looking for, and it's just great to see the support coming out here too. I mean,
a lot of families.
Even an hour ago, we saw people with posters still. So.
And we've seen a lot of big smiles on faces right now. It might be different. We check in with the Dons at like mile marker 20.
That's around the time I would think you're thinking,
starting to slow down.
I don't know.
Just a little bit. But yeah, things are going good here. Quiet right now because we are at the finish line, but things are getting ready to kick off. So we're going to send it back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much. Ooh, the crowds are getting ready. They're there, they're gathering. The program's getting ready to kick off. We hear the party boys are there.
That's right.
Kicking things off, but we're getting ready to start the official program.
And this, again, is where everybody starts filing into their corrals, making sure they're ready. I mean, this is where the anticipation builds.
A lot more crowded right now than it was a few minutes ago. And this is such a great shot, too, is from just a spectator's perspective. Once they start and they're running up Clinch Avenue and there's this long line of runners, it's just really a great photo, a great moment to be able to see all those people heading out into Knoxville.
And that's something we brought up with Jason. It's like, okay, you're fired up, you're ready to go. Right out of the gate, you're running uphill.
You run straight uphill right out of the gate.
Welcome
it's amazing.
to Knoxville.
That's right.
there's nowhere to go but up around here. But you know, honestly, it gives them a good, instead of going out too fast.
Yeah.
A lot of people will do that, so they'll head out and their adrenaline's going, they're so excited, and so they'll be a little too quick. This helps to temper that a little bit.
That's true.
And then they get a downhill going towards campus, but it helps to temper that excitement somewhat. We say that about the kids run too. They take off down the bridge on the flat, and then they turn to go up World's Fair Park Drive there in front of the Candy Factory and the Art Museum, and that slows them down real fast.
Oh, wow. Hey, the sun is up. The program has started. We're getting ready to hear from Mayor Kincannon. Let's listen.
I wish I were out there running with you, but instead I'm going to be cheering along the route, along with neighbors across our beautiful city. So I want to give a shout out to all the people who are lining the route to root you on, to all of our city workers who are making this event safe, and to all of you who've been training for many months, if not longer, to make this day a special race, whether you're going to hit a new PR or whether you're just running along in honor of someone and a good new health milestone. This is about fitness and health, and I'm very grateful for Covenant's sponsorship and all the other sponsors. Knoxville is a healthy city. We support the running community, the biking community, and we're so glad to be out here today celebrating this marathon. So good luck to all the runners. We are rooting for you, and have a wonderful race.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you for the support from the city of Knoxville. 19 years ago, leaders from the Knoxville Track Club dreamed of having a big-time event right here in downtown Knoxville. They took this idea to Covenant Health, East Tennessee's largest healthcare system. KTC and Covenant Health have very similar missions to improve the quality of life here in our community. Covenant Health took a chance with KTC and agreed to become title sponsor of the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon for our inaugural year in 2005. We've had a wonderful partnership for close to 2 decades now, and we look forward to continuing this partnership for years to come. At this time, it's my privilege to introduce the President and CEO of Covenant Health, Mr. Jim Vandersteeg.
Well, good morning. It is so exciting to be at the starting line of the 2023 Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. Covenant's mission is to improve the quality of life through better health. And when we were approached years ago to be a part of this, we couldn't think of anything that matched better with our mission for this community to improve people's health. This is my 7th year to be here to do this, and so this is exciting. I'm glad COVID is kind of gone to the side. It's wonderful to see a great crowd. I want to say thank you to several different groups here today. Covenant Health employees, we have 300 runners here today. I want to say thank you for our media sponsor, WATE, for the coverage that they're going to have today, for the race volunteers that will be all throughout this city that will be rooting you on. Thank you to them. Also, a very special thank you to the City of Knoxville, to our mayor, and to our police officers and all that will do the coordination of this event today. Obviously, the biggest thanks goes out to you, those of you who are running today. I wish you well. I would like to say that I wish I was running with you, but that would not be true. I really enjoy watching you run and coming across the finish line. So here in a minute, we're going to start the race. Again, glad you're here today. Look forward to seeing you at the finish line.
I also want to say thank you to Jason Altman and the Knoxville Track Club and everybody who's making this race possible. I'm a member. I'm wearing my shirt. Knoxville Track Club, you rock. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, so here's our order of operations moving forward. We will start our hand cycle athletes and our push rim wheelchair, and we've got some members from Ainsley's Angels out here. Did anyone stop by the expo yesterday and hear a rooster talk? Sounds like some of y'all did. What a fantastic speaker. What a great mission that they have there at Ainsley's Angels. He's the founder and president, and we were thrilled that he was able to come and share his story and everything that Ainsley's Angels has done, including here in East Tennessee. We really appreciate him being there. So we're going to start these athletes here in about 10 seconds. The runners and walkers, y'all will hang tight until 7:30. Troy, we good? All right. On your mark, get set. Let's give them a round of applause, folks. All right, y'all can start walking your way up towards the line here. Before we get started, though, it is my honor to introduce the singer for our national anthem. Born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, her first steps into the music world began at the early age of 9 years old. Her family and career have brought her to Knoxville, and she is currently revamping her musical style by working in a wide range of musical sounds, including blues, pop, ballad, big band, and classical. It is an honor to introduce to you Jennifer Michelle Brown.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts they watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home
Fantastic. This is the moment you've been waiting for. We're just seconds away from the 2023 Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon, Half Marathon, and Relays. As you can see, you're lining up at the Mortgage Investors Group start line. Behind you is the bag check truck, sponsored by CNS. In front of you is the Harper Auto Square pace car. It's going to lead you through the streets of Knoxville today. Be sure and follow the green arrows and listen to the course monitors wearing the neon shirts. We've got 17 water stops ready with English Mountain Water and Gatorade Endurance. 26 bands lined up over the next 26.2 miles. Party Boys is going to be on Knowlton, our version of Heartbreak Hill. You'll make your way to historic World's Fair Park site of the ORNL Federal Credit Union finish line. Upon exiting the finish chute, rest, rehydrate at the pilot post-race party. Months of training have led you to this moment. Are you ready? All right, on your mark, get set. It's marathon time in Tennessee!
Oh my goodness, and they are off and running.
I've got chills.
Yeah.
Christy and I were just saying, what an emotional time. So many things go through your mind, right?
Oh my
Especially
gosh.
as a runner when you're down there.
And, you know, as the runners, whatever, we were talking earlier about times and pace, whatever you're going to run today, that's your first thought. Like,
Right.
What is my pace got to be? What is it got to be this mile? What is it got to be the next mile? What's it going to do? What happens if I get slower? What happens if I get faster? So it's always a mathematics. Jason loves it because he has a degree in math. And so we talk about what he does for 26.2 miles. You know, he's run 20 marathons. He doesn't listen to music. He doesn't have any entertainment. He's constantly doing a math problem in his head trying to figure out his pace. And so you still got folks that are going underneath the start line.
Still waiting to get going.
Yeah.
Hey, our Don Hudson, he's up there. The runners are heading his way. Don, let's check in with you. They should be coming to you pretty soon.
They are about a half a block away, so as we talk, in fact, I probably should just move a little bit over this way and I'll get out of the shot so you can actually see them. These are your leaders right here, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know why they designed it this way. We'll have to talk to Jason when we start the whole marathon and let them run uphill. I guess it weeds out anybody who really doesn't want to run the marathon. Now, at this point, you're just trying to get your lungs and your wind because you're down there where it's so cold, and now man, I'm telling you, I am impressed. That's impressive right there to see that those are runners. These are the runners. And in a few minutes, we'll get the people like me who run marathons and aren't planning on doing it this fast, but just impressive to see this many people. There you go. Wave to the camera. Anyway, what an impressive sight. Again, I've never really sat from this angle of a marathon. I've either been running them or I haven't been there at all. It is just amazing to sit there and watch all these people who've been doing all this training, I'm sure for months and months, and some of them it's just running is their nature. That's what they do. But I will say this to anybody who's watching and say, well, I could never do that. You could. You just have to start slow and build your way up. But it's been a great, great morning. Sun's coming up, as you said. Thousands of runners headed in that direction, making that corner right there at AG, 4 or 5 blocks into the race. Looking good, looking and very impressive. Bo and Lori, I'm telling you, this is what a sight to see.
Running uphill. Hey, we had our eyes earlier on Brian Morseman.
Uphill.
And he has quite a history here. He's from Wheeler, New York, 37 years old, and he has won this thing before.
2 different times. He has a great family, and they've come in town a handful of times to run. So he's a 2-time winner, and we'll see what he does today.
Early on in it right now.
Early
Alan
on.
Carino there a moment ago. He's done very well in the half marathon, expecting
Won
him to
last
do well
year.
as well this year. So
Yes.
we'll see how he does there. He's in the black shirt there. That is Carino out in front. But again, we're in the early stages. The great thing is you make that run up the hill, and then you make your turn into the campus, and it's all downhill to Neal. So you get a chance to catch your breath a little bit.
Absolutely. You catch your breath, you run alongside the river, and then you go right back uphill to Kingston Pike and stay uphill until you get to Sequoia Hills. So it's really there's not a lot of flat land here in Knoxville to use for running.
Right.
And so they're getting a good up and down workout today. Good strength workout.
Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys.
But this has been a tradition of running through campus since the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we finished on the 50-yard line for several years, and so still being able to use the campus area and run through is very special.
That is great.
And it shows the cooperation, the university, the city, everybody coming together to make this thing happen.
It is. It really is. I mean, I think there's 7 city departments that help us put this together, and you've got the police department, you've got the fire department, you've got TDOT. I mean, we're, Mark Nagy, we were just receiving emails from Mark on Wednesday, Thursday night. So it's a constant. KUB is in with this. You know, we had to do a lot of, you guys saw the new construction of the Greenway. So Denart Construction did a great job of helping us out there. So
that's nice.
It is
actually,
really nice.
We're going to show that to you a little bit later around the construction of the new baseball stadium, the multi-use stadium. There's that little trail right there. You're going to be seeing history as it's being built.
Yeah. Hey, right now I want to check in with Don Dare. He's got a great, if you will, bird's eye view of everyone kind of running underneath him there on campus. Don, how are things looking?
This is just perfect, Bo. Take a look over here, Dave. Pan here to the right. This is the bulk of the runners coming down right now. About a minute and a half ago, our lead runners came. Look at the group of people that we have here. Nearly 2,000 runners in the marathon, the half marathon, and all of these relays. Some folks are really doing well, as you can see. What do we have? A couple. Okay, that guy, he sees someone in front of him carrying flags. We're at the Philip Fulmer Bridge right now. Look at the throng of people running down this boulevard right now. Dave, if you could come on over here with me, we're going to walk over here across the bridge. And now this is the stadium, and you can see the runners now going down toward the boulevard. What a sight here in Knoxville as the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon gets underway. What are we, just 5 minutes into the race? There's maybe another 1,000 people behind us over here to the left, and they're all going down that way right now. Bo and Lori, this is quite a sight, and this is going to be an exciting race, as we all know. Those of us who have run in these races before, we know what this exhilaration is like. You can see them running at some good paces right now. The lead runners, of course, they're running at 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes a mile, and the folks back here, they're running their pace, and it's still way behind us, way back there too as well. Look at this here. Woo. All different colors, all different shapes and sizes, and everyone has been preparing for this race for the last 2 to 3 months, keeping their pace, running as a group, cheering one another on. You can see some of the groups running together as well as individuals. There's a fellow down there who's just chugging along, and young people as well as older people, folks in their teens up to their 70s. And it's going to be quite an interesting race. Come on back over here, Dave, if we can. And you can still see the runners over. This is just amazing. I bet they're stretched out at least a mile now, probably even further than that. I'm sure that they've cleared the bridge, but just look at all the people who are running here. She's taking a picture of us, and we're taking pictures of them. They have water bottles with them. That guy's really chugging along there. Hey, how are you? There they are. Oh, this is just amazing. Some folks are bare-chested. Others are all dressed up. There's an army group down there running together. You can see some of them, they wear the same colors. There's a group of red there. Looks like firefighters right there. And we have some ladies running together. There they are. Everyone is smiling. That's the amazing thing. They're smiling right now, 1 mile into the race. And we'll see how long they'll be smiling at about 5 miles. Bo and Lori, this is quite a sight up here.
Oh, we love that, Don. Thank you so much. And just watching the firefighters there.
Yep, in their red shirts,
along.
yeah. This is the second year that they've actually had a team. They've been running for years, but the second year they've actually put together a team, and they've the turnout they've had has been pretty remarkable.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so great to see the groups. You know, we do the Fittest Company Challenge,
Right.
but you know, every year we see more groups coming out together with their T-shirts on and dressed alike and running together. And that, you know, this we've always said that this is life-changing for people. When you train for something, whether it's your first 5K, whether it's your first half marathon or first full marathon, it always changes, you know, who you are when you get to that finish line and you've done something that you had, you know, you can't take this lightly. If you do even a half, you're training for 12 to 16 weeks, a full is 16 to 20 weeks. You have to put a lot of effort into these things.
Well, and spending time with Jason and you as well through the years, he said it's all about health. Your whole family's all about health.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Spreading that message, and I think that's so important. And the theme is, this is your year, which I think is perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us, though. When we come back, we'll get you up to date on where everybody is out on the course. All right, welcome back. And yeah, the bands are playing, the runners are running, and the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon is underway. It looks like some people stopping to get a picture taken with the bands. They're not worried about time, they just want to get a picture.
That's so funny. You know, we're back here with Christy Altman, and we were talking about how people run their races. There are lots of fun stops along the way, and you know, I used to think, oh, you just run consistently, and a lot of people do, but some people stop.
Some people stop and take pictures.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about it, is that you have these very serious gentlemen that are up front here. We see them leading the race, and they have been they've got pace that they want to hit, but you've also got people who are going to stop and hang out and take pictures and play with the bands. And they get over to Knowlton, they may take a shot of Fireball.
Right.
I mean,
it's a bucket list thing for a lot of people.
Yes.
For some of
you know,
these,
we had a guy several years ago. He posted so many pictures after, and he stopped at Trailhead and had a beer and a burrito. It was amazing. I mean, because you know we don't see this. We're always on site, so we don't see all of these fun things until it's over, and we go back and we see where we've been tagged and photos and things. And that guy had the greatest day ever.
Eating a burrito would be the last thing on my mind.
You know, me too. Me too. I accidentally.
My hat's off to that individual.
I accidentally got a Red Bull in Portland. We went to Portland, Oregon several years ago and ran, and I went through what I thought was the water stop, and it was Red Bull in cups. So that was amazing. But you know, there's great opportunity in several places to take photos and to stop and see your favorite bands. You know, all the bands are local. And I can remember when we ran the Nashville Marathon several years ago, Dave Landio was playing at mile 20, and I stopped and got a picture with Dave.
There you go.
And, you know, I made it that far. I was going to prove.
Hey, Chrissy, I know you know these runners. These are the half marathoners we're seeing up front here with Alan Carino and Kian Bell right now. And you were talking to us earlier too. We were in the break about how the half marathoners, they're going to jump out here a little bit.
That's why we're seeing them right now.
They're going to go out faster. Their times are going to be faster. Alan ran last year in a 1:11:41, which is a 5:28 pace. Wow. So I would guess, not being able to see the time clock, but I would guess that's about what they're running up front right now. You're going to see the full marathoners are going to be just a little bit behind. We see Brian Morseman is back with that second group of guys, and so he's probably going to try and hit closer to a 5:45 pace, but he may be in better shape.
Right now,
all of
we
it
are.
And this is where they're going to maintain too. These two guys are going to push each other through every single mile, trying to see which one is going to come out as the winner when they get to the end. And so it's always, this is a good matchup, so it's going to be fun to watch this morning. They both look like they're in great shape, and they both have been talking like they're in great shape. So.
Kian, they're in bib number 1003. He's the Knoxville Youth Athletics Summer Camp coach, runs for Runners Market Racing Team. You guys know him really well, run Columbia College. I mean, he's been doing this for a while.
Absolutely.
What I think is amazing is when you watch them. Remember when we started and you saw thousands of people? Yeah. Where is everybody? I mean, you can just show how fit these. I mean, they have left everyone. You know.
They are back there. Then there's a whole lot of them right there. You know, but like I said, we'll see those half marathon guys. They're going to go out a little bit faster. So are some of the ladies. We've got a really good women's race in the marathon. We've got two ladies there that either one could take the win. You've got Katie Baxa and Mary Alex Gary. Both could win today. Both could have really great times. We saw Katie a few years ago in 2020 at the Atlanta Olympic Trials.
Yeah, wow.
And so both are in really good shape. So that's going to be a great race to watch too today as all of this unfolds in front of us.
There they are waving at the camera.
People
Hi,
having
guys.
a good time, yeah. This is one of those where you're like, okay, the camera's on, I'm running. As soon as the camera goes off, you're going, oh.
Everybody feels great here still, though, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing with Neyland. So they run, they'll take up both sides of Neyland. They'll run down, make a U-turn, come back down Neyland, and head back up toward Kingston Pike. You don't realize how long Neyland Drive is until you run it. When you drive it, it's one thing, but I remember when running the half, I was like, am I ever going to get off this road?
I know.
It just goes forever, but you got to enjoy it because this is one of the few flat spots.
It is one of the flat spots. You're along the river. The temperature down there must be great right now. You know, and we have to do these little out and backs that you're going to see on the course today because it's really hard to get 13.1 or 26.2 miles in one big swoop. So there's several places on the course where there's a little bit of an out and back. That is really to get the mileage where we need it to be because we have a fixed start line, we have a fixed finish line. You have to make it work in between those.
And you're a qualifier too, or you know, people thinking about the Boston Marathon, so you've got to make sure everything is set just right for this.
Absolutely. So Glenn Richters has been managing the course since 2005. So he goes out on a bicycle and he measures the course. So if there's any change to the course, where what we see with the Greenway, any kind of change, he has to go back, he has to do remeasuring, and he has to resubmit the paperwork to USATF, and they approve it as an approved course. And then we also submit to be a Boston qualifier. So there's a whole lot, you know, the culmination, I was talking earlier, you know, you can hear Jason's voice get real excited as we get to the start line.
And we did.
I get real excited as we get to the start line. It's a year's worth worth of work. It's several people. Jason's the face, but we have a lot of volunteers who have been coming back year over year to help out with this event. Glenn doing the course, we saw him a few Saturdays ago during one of the training runs with a can of spray painting the numbers to make them fresh. And so, but it's, here's one of our lead ladies coming in. She looks like a half marathoner, and she looks like she's moving.
She means business.
She does. That's 1009. That's Amanda Martin, and she is also in great shape. She is sponsored by Rabbit Running. She runs for Knoxville Endurance, and she's a PT student in Johnson City at ETSU. And she is actually the first female to ever win overall for the marathon, the half marathon. So she beat all of the males last year.
You go, girl.
She's got a great pace right now.
Yes, she does. For sure. Have great pace. Okay, let's talk about your experience, Bo, when you did the half marathon.
Okay.
I mean, no. What is your lasting memory? What was the toughest moment?
The toughest moment, it was no doubt Fort Sanders. Because we talked about Knowlton, and you will see here.
And Knowlton wasn't your toughest?
No, because when you get to Knowlton, first of all, we had a camera. We had a live camera, so I couldn't collapse in front of that. But also, there's so many people cheering you on that you're just motivated to get to the top of that hill.
And that makes a difference, doesn't it?
It really does. And that whole stretch there has become such a party. The people who live in Sequoia Hills and all the way up Knowlton have turned it into just a great Sunday morning party, and they hang out all morning, they cheer runners on. When you come out of Tyson Park into Fort Sanders, it's a little lonely.
It's a little lonely, and there's these hills looking at you, and you're going, nobody told me about this.
Nobody told you. You make the left out of Tyson Park. We've run this through training runs year over year, and even, Jason and I still laugh about it. You make that left turn out of Tyson. Oh, I forgot this.
It's a wake-up call. Yeah, it is a wake-up call, that is for sure.
Hey, let's check back in with Allison. She is down at World's Fair Park. Allison.
Hey, Lori. I am here with Don. He is the coach over at South Doyle, coach of track and cross country, track and field and cross country. He's actually got a runner on the course right now. Runner's name is Christian, and we're thinking he's going to be one of the top. Correct?
We hope he might be top 5. He's ran around 240, 241, and he thinks he's in shape to run under 240 today.
So how long has Christian been running that he's going to be at that number?
Well, he's been running most of his life. He was born in a missionary family in Zimbabwe and was running barefoot on dirt roads as a child. And when he came back to Knoxville, his dad's a professor at Johnson University. When he came back to Knoxville, he started running with us when he was in middle school. Played some soccer, but then settled in with track and cross country.
Well, and training at that level too, because we always talk about people are trying to shave off their time, but shaving off just 10, 20, 30 seconds is not an easy thing to do. How has he approached this race?
He's put in the miles over a 6-month time frame, and the speed work, the workouts, and long workouts, lots of there's a lot of different approaches and nuances, but all of it goes together to shave those. And he's looking at some minutes here, hopefully, today.
Yeah. Well, and you obviously coach some runners here in the Knoxville area over at South Doyle. Any of them trying to run half marathon, or aspire to?
They aspire to. I had to ask one young man to be on hand for our track meet in Oak Ridge yesterday instead of running over here today.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you being with us this morning, Don. You're going to go volunteer and hang out at the half marathon, you said? Okay, thank you so much. We'll send it back to you guys.
Okay.
All right, Allison, thank you so much. And we were just talking about Don Madgett, the coach there at South Doyle. You've known him forever.
We have known, I was telling you guys, he's a legend here.
Right.
He's been around the running community for far longer than Jason and I have. He helps to coordinate cross country for all of our high schools in the area. He still coaches. I love to watch in the summertime when he starts his summer camp with his athletes, because he's very cute. He posts pictures on Facebook every morning at 5:30 where they're out running. But he's been great for the track club for so many years, and he's just really, they're a great family. Their son is a swimmer. He swims in college, and they're just a really nice family. And that's what you find in this community. Everyone is just so sweet and friendly, and they get along, and so again, it warms my heart when we get to this day, because I see so many people that I might not see otherwise throughout the year just because of schedules, and everybody's in one place again.
Well, it is a beautiful morning. Again, you're looking at Alan Carino and Kean Bell. They are out in front.
All right, stay with us, everybody. We're going to keep watching them run a little bit, take you to break, and come right back.
And welcome back. You are watching the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. Good look at the Sun Sphere, blue sky, a beautiful day in downtown Knoxville as the race is underway. We've been following along with the leaders and all the crews that have been running, a lot of teams, including members of the U.S. military, and I can only imagine running with those rucksacks on right now.
Rucksacks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I want to say 30 to 50 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
I'll do a quick Google.
That sounds about right.
I think it's about 30 to 50 pounds. And they, again, same thing. You train with this the whole cycle. So you train just like you're going to run race day. And so they've been using those sacks and all that weight every time they've been out doing their long runs.
They're getting ready to go past one of the water stops you see right there. Let's talk about the importance of that.
Yeah, the volunteers,
obviously you want to stay
yeah.
hydrated, but yeah, you got to have volunteers. And how does that work when you're running?
So honestly, here we are very lucky because we usually have a wait list for people who want to host the water stops.
Great.
So that's really great, but you know, it's taking the fluids along the way, and that's very important because you might think that you're not thirsty at the 5K mark, but really you need to go ahead. If you're doing a distance race, you need to go ahead and have some kind of fluid early on and then maintain that throughout the race. We also offer, and a lot of people will bring their own, but we offer goo, which is a substance, like it's goo is what it is, but it's got all of your nutrients in it to help keep you sustained for your pace and your distance. And so, you know, rule of thumb, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how far you're going. So some people will use energy chews. They're like little gummies. That's what we prefer. And 45 minutes in, I take the first one or the second one, and then you maintain that through the entire time. That way you're not losing energy because you're exerting so much energy. This is helping to replenish some of that.
I'm speaking for people watching at home who don't run and have no idea. Where do you put these things when you're running? Where do you store them?
You know, we are very fortunate that all these years in, the running companies, the people who make the apparel, have started making built-in pockets.
Oh, okay. I've
so
seen
you
those
can buy, you know, running shorts, running tights. Both men and women have pockets that you can put that in.
Yep.
I'll be honest, Jason will safety pin his because what you see up front is usually what Jason is going to run in. So split shorts and a singlet or no shirt. So he will actually safety pin it, and then if it's a goo, you can just rip it from the safety pin and eat it, and then
there you go.
Put it in the garbage.
Hey, the leaders are entering Sequoia Hills right now.
That's right. So you're looking at Alan Carino, Kean Bell on the left, and then we've got Amanda Martin on the right now. So again, they are moving along. They are hitting the hills in Sequoia Hills. That is for sure. Yeah, Santa Claus, you never know what you're going to see.
Starting to see some of the neighbors through there. They always come out and cheer on our runners, and they bring their own water stops sometimes. So you never know what you're going to get through here.
Hey, there's a lot of cheering too where Don Dare is stationed. Let's send it over to him. Hey, Don.
Hi, Lori and Bo. This is, we're at Neyland Drive in Kingston Pike, and this is Sarah. Right, Sarah, this is quite a hill coming up here, isn't it?
Oh, it is a heck of a hill, absolutely.
So they're going to need you cheering for them?
Yes, and I am here for the job.
Here comes a good group of firefighters right now.
Let's go, Knoxville Fire Department! Woo! Keep working, yeah,
when they come up that hill, Bo and Lori, this is what they need. They need someone like Sarah cheering them on, encouraging them, and you can see it in the faces of these runners as they see her and they hear her. Big smiles on their faces.
Let's go, Jake,
and
I see
you can't help but hear her.
Good job, Caroline! Good job, Emily!
The bulk of the runners, as you can see, are coming up right now. Good pace on many of them. And it goes down for about another half a mile, I'd say, down on Neyland Drive here, coming onto Kingston Pike. Smiles on their faces, good pace, heads up, keep pumping. It doesn't look like much of a hill, Bo and Lori, but Bo, you know, and Lori, you know, and I know that coming up that, what is it, maybe 100 yards, you want to quit. But you can't because you know right around the corner here is another little hill. Whoa, into Sequoia Hills. And then it's going to be downhill. Look at all these runners right now. Sarah, they need a little encouragement.
I know. Let's go. Woo! Way to work it up this hill. You've got it. Woo! You guys are crushing it. Let's go. Woo!
This is what it's about. This is what it's about. It's just such a thrilling day to be in Knoxville right now. And here comes, oh, look at this. Yeah, whoa, an old timer there, huffing and puffing. He looks good, he looks good, he looks good. Young folks, young man right there, teenager. And here they come. Bo and Lori, this is exciting. And here comes look at and they are, it goes down another mile. Bo and Lori, there's a great smile on her. Bo and Lori, this is exciting. Kneel and Drive and Kingston Pike, back to you.
Oh, you can tell Dawn is so excited too.
And how about Sarah?
Sarah,
oh my goodness,
I would want Sarah to run along with me. I think that would be great.
She would. She's been a coach for years. I bet she would run right along beside you.
Oh, I think that is fantastic. I mean, she is really cheering everybody on. You know, we've been talking about a lot of teams that we've been seeing out there.
We saw the fire department out there. They come out every year, and their goal, you know, obviously, our hats off to them for what they do every day. They're there to save lives, obviously.
But today, some of those crew members traded in their fire gear for shorts, shirts, and some running shoes.
Normally, when we think of fire crews on the run, this is what we imagine. The scramble to get the gear on and get to the scene of an emergency. But for the second year in a row, KFD will take part in a different kind of run, formally taking to the streets in the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon.
It's kind of become a thing now.
In the 2022 marathon, 27 members made up Team KFD, and this year another strong turnout is expected.
To see the whole department jump on, it's been a really good thing.
So you may be wondering, how did this KFD running team come together to go out and hit the streets of Knoxville? Well, it was actually pretty simple. Someone just said, hey, you want to go out for a run?
That's exactly how it happened. Somebody came in one day and said, I think I'm going to do it, and then everyone just kind of piled on.
And from there, a team was born. And like all those running around them, this team brings a little bit of everything to the table.
Some people have, never run more than a 5K maybe, and some just run their PT test once a year, and then some do full marathons.
I'm sure there are some that really try to have a competitive time. I'm not one of them.
There's no set time I'm going to finish. I'm going to socially run.
And for most, that's the motivation, being a part of something big in the community while also bringing a close team even closer.
I like to see the benefit that the guys get out of it, promoting something healthy, promoting activity, and it does bring everyone together.
Some people have never thought they'd ever run one of these, and they got there and do it, and it's just, you want to celebrate those guys and gals.
Being there for each other, an important trait that translates from one day on the course to a day on the job when your life and theirs depends on it.
As a matter of fact, there are some members of Knoxville Fire Department running right now. You can't miss them. They've got the big red T-shirts on. One of the things they pointed out to me when I was talking to them, they said what they loved was all the response, the reaction they got from the crowds when they would run by, people cheering them on. They said they really, really appreciate it. But yeah, they had 27 the other day. I mean, last year, this year they were eclipsing the 20-member mark as well. So fantastic.
Great group. Love to see them out there.
Yeah, so they're out there running. Yeah, it's good to see them out there. Good to see all the different teams out there. They're talking.
I'd
already be out of breath
but
right
now. But like you said, Bo, when the camera's on,
you want to look your best.
Smile,
be cool.
Talk,
That's
we're
right.
Good.
Camera goes away. You're like, yeah.
That's true.
I want to see them when we get close to mile 10 and 11. That's when we'll see if they're still smiling and having a great time. But they look like they're going to have a good time this whole race.
Yeah, they are. And a lot of them have never done anything like this. And like you were hearing, a lot of them have said that this is really a social run. They're talking. Run. It's a bonding moment for this team, for these crews, because they work at different fire stations. They don't work together every single day. So.
When you get out once a week and you're running together for an hour, 2 hours, you get to know each other pretty well. There's a great camaraderie that comes along with it. And I just love to see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I'd love to see it. We've done so much work with the fire department for so many years. They support KTC races, so when I worked for KTC, I would see them at every single event, and they come out to these events and they help us out. And it's again, it's so lovely because I don't see them as much anymore now that I work in a different place. But when I come out this weekend, so many familiar faces, and I love to see that they're getting active because we've been trying for years to get them out and get them active. So
and here we go. I think that's great, and it's inspirational for a lot of other folks as well. Another place we've been talking about where people come out and really support, and that is Sequoia Hills. Don Hudson has made his way over there. Don, how are things going over there?
Yeah, I tell you, first off, it's tough to drive anywhere right now for the marathon. It takes a while. But yeah, this is the Cherokee and Talahi, and you can see people running by. And this is Becca, who lives nearby, right? You live nearby. Now, you've got a crowd of camera-shy people over here, so you're the one that's going to be speaking for them. Is this something you do all the time?
Every year, yes.
Okay.
For probably the past 5 years.
For the past 5 years. Now, are you cheering on everyone, or do you have someone specific?
Definitely everyone, but we know lots of faces that we recognize and can yell names. So
now, has this ever inspired any of your group to say, hey, maybe we should do the half marathon?
Yes, because we're cheering on family who's out here. So there's a relay, and so some of our family is doing the relay.
Oh, okay.
So
now here,
Connor, Gracie, Katie, and Sarah.
All right, we want to give them a shout out. Now here's the question. All these camera shy friends and family, none of them, they aren't running?
They aren't running, but they have been runners, and they have run marathons.
Okay.
So they need some credit.
So is this one of these things that, hey, let's get out there certain time, bring your coffee, bring your drink?
Yes.
Now who's
bring
this
our
with you?
sign. This is Mimi.
Okay.
And she made a fun sign.
Yes, she
tap
did.
for power,
Tap for
because
power.
you got to give those runners all the
Now
energy.
we got to let her go back out there so people can tap your sign. That's a great thing. I've run some marathon. That's a good one. You tap that for power. Becca, thank you very much. So we've got a small crowd here. We've got a small band here. People cheering everyone on. A lot of energy. And some of the leaders have gone by, but now we're getting some of the other people that have run really, really good times. Much better than something I'd ever done, that's for sure. All right, we'll send it back to Bo and Lori in the studio.
Great to see. Sequoia Hills, one of those places where everybody turns out.
And it's just so beautiful. Yeah. You just take it all in. So there are the ups and downs there.
Yes.
Sequoia Hills, that's for sure. I guess that's the understatement of the year.
And that's what these runners you're looking at right now are tackling. We're going to continue to follow them and keep you up to date. We've got much, much more with the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon right after the break. Stay with us.
All right, everybody, welcome back to our coverage live of the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. And boy, they are still full of steam, full speed ahead.
Yeah, a lot of them right now, they're in Sequoia Hills, some slowly but surely getting close to Knowlton, which you've heard us talk about time and time again. That is the big hill in all of this. But again, a lot of these runners, I mean, they took off and they have not looked back. On the right is Amanda Martin. She is kind of running all by herself. Sometimes, I don't know, is it better to run by yourself, or do you want to have someone with you at this point? To kind of
I think it depends on the day. So she's using this as a tune-up. I think we talked, she's trying to make the Olympic trials next year as well. So this is what we would call a tune-up race for her. So this is, she's getting out, she's practicing her pace, she's practicing her race conditions, making sure that, you know, everything that she's doing is going to be successful for when she gets to the marathon. So for her, there were a handful of ladies, you know, I talked about the full marathon ladies, it's going to be a great race between those ladies, but they're going to be at a slower pace than she is. She's currently at about a 5:45 to 5:52 pace. Her coach, Bobby Holcomb, tells me that she's going to start to pick things up here once she gets towards Knowlton. So that'll be, again, it'll be fun to watch as she gets ready. But,
you know, things up. I thought she already had.
She is, but you got to, you know, that qualifier, it's really about putting that speed on the legs, and for here, the strength part, which is the up and down the hill. So this is a great way for her to see where she is as far as her fitness goes, and to see what she needs to adjust when she gets to the longer distance.
Gotcha. Well, as we watch her, we want to let you know we're also taking a closer look at those off the pavement as well.
That's right. Anchor Lexi Spivak spoke with Sequoia Hills neighborhood group to see how they were gearing up for the big race day.
Along the Tennessee River, you'll find one of Knoxville's oldest neighborhoods.
Sequoia Hills is really the place to be for the Knoxville Marathon.
Doug Peak dubbed himself as Chief Fun Officer, but others know him as DJ Doug.
DJ Doug's favorite song from if you ask his littlest followers, would be Fireball from Pitbull.
And that's not all.
We do have bands, DJs, cheering squads, we have marching bands, and they sort of pick little areas throughout our neighborhood. So I think there's about 30 stops, if you will, or 30 areas that you would pass as part of the Knoxville Marathon in our neighborhood.
Peak explains come Sunday morning, there will be hundreds of signs lining Cherokee Boulevard, all meant to bring smiles and support to runners as they climb one of the biggest hills along the marathon route.
It is called Sequoia Hills for a reason. There's a lot of hills. So from a runner standpoint, they seem to think it's challenging towards the end of the neighborhood because there's that long last run up the hill back towards the Runner's Market area over in Bearden Plaza.
He feels the least he and his neighbors can do is help push these competitors over this hurdle, getting closer to their goal one step at a time.
It is a challenge they've worked on for months, if not years, because this is something that you put work into. And then the day comes for the race, and as long as you start the race and finish the race, you've overcome that obstacle.
Rain or shine, this neighborhood group will be ready on marathon morning, not just this week, but for years to come.
You might have never ran a race. You've probably never tried even a 5K or even a half-mile competition. But even those that don't want to run can be a part of this.
Because in their eyes,
it's almost as if it's in a team event.
They're all running as one.
Giving another live look right now. The crew's heading up Knowlton, making their way toward Kingston Pike. There'll be a big crowd up here. There'll be music. You can hear them cheering them on. This is one of those spots that really motivates you. You got to the top, and then there's everybody up here to welcome you.
My goodness, what a hill.
It is. It is. We all, you know, we actually have shirts made that said, you know, I'm tackling Knowlton. So, I mean, it's that big of a deal.
I survived Knowlton.
People wait and they buy those after the marathon from the marathon store, and then because they survived it.
Well, it is something special, that is for sure. And again, we've got a lot more coming up for you right now. Running marathons and 5K races isn't always an individual sport.
No, it's not. And as we take a look at someone working really, really hard, these ladies have been coming to these races for years and working so hard in the wheelchair there. So yeah, it's not always an individual sport. In fact, we're meeting an angel who's formed a special bond with a young man who indeed is making a race day more adaptive for them as well, coming up.
All right, and welcome back. You're watching the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. We are glad to bring it to you live right now around the area. We've been watching a lot of the runners, and there are teams, and we talk teams, there are groups, and then there are what you see right there.
And my goodness, this is so incredible. Vicki Wallace is in the wheelchair there. This is not her first race. Melissa Peplow is helping her along there. Let's talk about their history, Christy.
They have been around for as long as I can remember, and they have been doing this as a duo for as long as I can remember. And not only do they run here, but they go to other major marathons across the country.
I love it.
And this is how they do. Melissa is pushing, and Vicki is in the wheelchair, and they help each other out.
I think it's fantastic.
And they're smiling and having a great time.
They have a great time. They'll come across the finish line smiling.
I love it.
Doesn't matter how long it takes them, they'll both be all smiles when they get there.
Well, anchor Don Hudson spoke with an organization that allows people to run even when they can't on their own. Take a look.
He's excited about the races. He wants all the races put on his calendar. He talks about them constantly. He wants to know when the next one is, and we make sure we put it on the calendar.
Eric Smelser has cerebral palsy and can't run. Despite this, he has competed in dozens of races through the legs and tender heart of Tim Rutherford.
We get to where we've got a bond, we've got like an understanding. He can tell when I'm struggling, especially on a hill. He'll look at me, it's like, it's not that bad, and it's like, you're in the chair. So
Tim started running back in 2013. A few years later, while at a race, he was introduced to Ainsley's Angels, a nonprofit that gives those with disabilities like Eric a chance to take part in road races.
I saw it, and I saw the look on the children's faces, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Then Tim met Eric, and for the past 3 years or so, they have been partners in all kinds of runs.
He loves going fast. I've always said he loves to ride the roller coasters at Dollywood, so he likes to go fast, and this gives him that opportunity to go fast and do what he loves.
Eric's mother, Sheila Smelser, says Tim and Eric don't just run in these races, they win them as well.
And oftentimes they win first place in their age groups, and that means so much to Eric too. You know, it's the first time he's ever been a winner at anything. Most of the time you're told no, 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 but with this we're told yes, you know, this is what we can do this.
And that is something that means so much to Eric and his family.
As a parent of a special needs child, there's very few people who will step in and do something for your child that's that meaningful. So it's really special to us.
It's also special for Tim.
I'm 60 years old, and I cry every time I cross the finish line with Eric. I'm his arms, I'm his legs. This is my way of giving back. God's blessed me, and I've been fortunate. So that's why I do it.
And again, we appreciate everything that group does to help others to take part in the marathon. And right now, crews are a lot of the leaders, the front runners, if you will, heading down the trails or the greenway, if you will, kind of behind West High School, the recreation area for UT.
It's just past West High School, and I think I was just telling Bo and Lori that this is the first time we've had a view of the greenway because we're using the motorcycles. We've not, before now, we've never been able to see these runners on the greenway, so this is very exciting for me to be able to see what it looks like from here.
This is great, beautiful, scenic run. I mean, what's not scenic in Knoxville? But the greenway, there's just something different and special about that.
And this is a fantastic, if you go out any afternoon, any weekend, you are going to see people running, they're riding their bikes, they're walking their dogs, families spending time on this greenway stretch. I mean, it's just, it's such a great addition, a great asset to our community is to be able to have this. And it connects a lot of our community together as well so that you don't have to be on the road. If you can use the greenway to go from place to place.
It really does. And if you're wondering, it's like, well, I don't hear the motorcycle. These are electric motorcycles.
These are electric.
And these have not really been used a whole lot here.
No, I think
so
this
is
is
one
one
of the first times
that the electric bikes have been used, and so that's also exciting. I had a chance years ago. I was in Greenville, South Carolina, and the police officers were using these, and he passed me while I was running on the greenway there, and I thought, what was that? And then he stopped, so I talked to him for a few minutes, but they can go very fast, and obviously not using the gas and a lot quieter.
A lot quieter. All right, take a look at this. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. We're going to race right back, if you will. Welcome back, everyone. We continue to bring you live coverage of the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. And let's look at this incredible runner. This is Amanda Martin, and she is out in front.
Yeah, she has been.
Yeah.
I mean, really since the get-go. I mean, she took off and she has not slowed down. Christy, I know you were saying, Christy Altman with us right now. She is obviously trying to qualify, looking ahead to possibly the Olympic Games, and setting quite the pace right now.
She's setting quite the pace. So up to about mile 7, we talked. She's running about a 5:45 to 5:52 pace. She's well past that 7-mile mark. She's approaching. She should be past 8 at this point. So she's really speeding up from now to the finish line. Is her goal.
Coming into Tyson Park now. Pretty soon she'll be in Fort Sanders.
Yes, she will.
She'll be there.
But like you said, she has a plan.
She has a plan, and so she has a coach. Everything is very planned out, and what she's working on today is sticking to that plan, making sure that she's got the food down, the hydration, making sure that she's listening to the body, everything feels good, finding the pace and staying on that pace. And so this is the discipline part, where this is a great tune-up for her as she prepares for those longer distances and trying to make the trials here for next year.
And that's a great point for whether you're an elite athlete or just a casual runner like the rest of us. When you're taking part in something like this, it is about discipline, because you don't want to get too hyped up, to let your adrenaline take over. You gotta find that pace and stick to it, what you've been training.
And almost always you're going to know that going into race day, because you're going to, even if you're a brand new runner, you're going to have your long runs to be able to go back and gauge and say, okay, I ran 10 miles at a 10-minute pace, or I ran 10 miles at a 12-minute pace. So then you go back and you say, okay, realistically, this is the time that I would like to do either in the half or the full marathon. And a lot of times for a full marathon, especially for the first one, you really don't know, because you're not really going to run 26 miles before you run 26 miles. And so we always say when you get to mile 20 is where you make or break. So the last 10K is always, especially during the first one, it could be amazing and you could feel great, or you could be, I've been counting light posts before where I will run from here to that light post and then I can walk for 2 minutes. And, you just do whatever you can, one foot in front of the other, to get to the finish line.
That's what you do. Hey, someone who is so familiar with running, our own Don Dare, he's been in many a race. Let's check in with him to see how things are going.
Boston has its Heartbreak Hill. We have our Knowlton Hill. Dave, if you just pan over here, Knowlton Hill is maybe up and down, and the last 100 yards is all uphill. And these are the recreational runners that we're seeing now. These are the men and women, and the young men and women who are almost at the top. And we have brought with us our favorite cheerleader, Sarah. What do you think of these runners?
Oh, they are doing an amazing job. Knowlton is definitely the hardest part of this course, and they are absolutely crushing it.
Can you see the smiles on their faces?
Absolutely. Look at this guy. Let's go, Brit Bush!
And that's what this is all about, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
Because when we see them coming up, we can see the grimaces on their face. As soon as we start cheering, there's a smile.
And I love it. That's why I'm here. That's why I do it, for the smiles. Let's go, Big Red! Woo! Yes, ma'am! Way to work!
Once you get up this hill, you go on to Kingston Pike, and then it's coast time. It's coast time. And you can see the looks on their faces. Good pace for that. Look at this group of young people right here. Oh, go, keep going, keep going. Take a look down here. Here comes another pack of runners. A flag waver. Knowlton Hill. They have conquered Knowlton Hill, and it's on to the race from here. Bo and Lori, you know what this is like. It's a drudgery, but they've made it. They've made it. We'll probably see Sarah on our next stop.
All right, Don, thank you very much. And yeah, coming up Knowlton in there, when you see your friends and family, if they're there cheering you on, it just means all the more. And if you see Don Dare cheering you on,
that's what I was going to say. People saying, oh, there's Don Dare. I'm going to pick up my pace.
We got to get Don a megaphone with Sarah there to keep cheering everybody on. Hey, we're going to continue to follow the leaders for you and the entire pack as we're covering the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon.
We want to check back in with our Lexi Spivak over at World's Fair Park, who is with the Covenant CEO, Jim Vandersteeg. He's one of the faces you'll see at the finish line.
Hey, that's right, Lori and Bo. And we know that the half marathon first finishers are really just right around the corner, should be coming up here soon. So let's talk to Jim Vandersteeg. Hey, thanks for being here this morning. This is a huge morning. Talk about why at Covenant Health you guys do this.
Yeah, so we've been doing this since 2005. The reason we do it is the mission of Covenant Health is to improve the quality of life through better health. And there's a lot of cool activities in our community, but in terms of one that really connects with our mission, this one really connects, because so many of the people that are here today, you have your professional runners and they're really cool, but the majority of people that are here today are really about improving their health as a team, as individuals, and so it really meets with our mission.
And we mentioned, you know, some of those first half marathon finishers are going to be coming around the corner soon. Talk about over the years what it's been like seeing people who do come through that finish line after accomplishing such a huge goal, no matter what the race is.
Yeah, so the professional runners are really unique. They finish it and they're not even tired. And then there's kind of the rest of everybody else. And the moment they kind of make this corner over here, you start seeing this joy on their face and they start sprinting. And you just see this goal that they've been working so hard to accomplish, and so that's so rewarding as you see people accomplish goals, and in all honesty, again, improving their health.
And, you know, I know you said that your wife has run the half marathon in the past, so shout out to her. And if there are people out there who are maybe just nervous to start that journey of improving their health, whether it's starting just a 1 mile race, what is your message to those with this being your mission?
Yeah, so start somewhere, right? So whether it's walking, some people that's the most they can ever do, whether they can run a mile or whatever. The other thing I'd encourage people to think about is do it with someone else, do it with a team. Like today, we have 300 Covenant employees that are going to be in the race today, and most of them are part of a team. So sometimes starting exercise, starting improving your health, you do it with someone else, and it really helps.
Jim, thank you so much again. We appreciate all that you guys do, and we're going to send it back to you in the studio because we're going to go head over and get ready at the finish line for, again, those first racers to cross that monumental point. Back to you.
Yeah, and Lexi, they're getting close. They're in Fort Sanders right now. Alan Carino and Amanda Martin, both making pretty good time.
Oh my goodness, look at them go. That's incredible. We've been following them throughout this entire time. That's so exciting. And let's check back in with Don Hudson.
Ask who's
Don, they should be coming close to you here soon.
Yeah, Lori, okay, sorry about that. I was talking to Merrill. We're getting ready for the first relayers to come around here. This is the halfway point, but it's also the third leg, right? Which is what you are, the third leg.
Yes.
Now, when you end up in a relay for a marathon, there's always going to be a story behind it because you got to get 4 of you to do it. So how did your group end up together?
Well, it's something I've wanted to do for a while.
Okay. So your idea, so at this moment, you have no one to blame but yourself?
Exactly, yes. And I volunteered for the long leg, too. The longest leg.
Okay, now wait, this third leg is how long compared to the other ones?
It's 8.1. So the first one is 6.7, 6.1. And the last one, I think, is 5.4.
Okay, so they're basically your idea, you got to run the long leg.
Yes.
Okay. Did you train properly for it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done 8.5 a few times.
Okay, so your group, did everyone train, or did you have anyone just kind of, I can just get through the 5 or 6?
I think actually we have a pretty good team. I think they trained. Yeah, we didn't train together, but I think in our neighborhoods we ran.
Well, but you're not running together either, so I guess that's right that way.
Yeah.
So this is the first time you've done this, right?
Yes.
Does it inspire you now to say, well, then next year maybe the half or maybe eventually a marathon?
No, not yet. No. No, I'm very happy with this. I just want to get through the day.
Could you just be honest with us about your So what's going to happen behind, just so everyone, you and the viewers and everyone knows, they'll come around where those police cars are, right? We've already had some of the people come through. Then your teammate, who is it that you're waiting on?
I am waiting on Ashley Mitchell.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, call it.
Is that?
Ashley, she called you out by name.
name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when Ashley comes, we'll all be excited. I'm gonna show everyone else here. If we go this way for a second, so Merrill will be on TV. Like this young man who's sitting here, he's waiting. Everyone has these green bibs. They're the third leg of a 4-person team. And as I've been told, again, the half marathon. This isn't the finish for the half marathon, but it's getting really close. We did just talk to a lady, you were talking to her as well. She's part of a 2-person team with her son, and then she's going to finish the last 13 or whatever miles. So this is the big point, and I don't know if this means that someone's getting close, but we're waiting for them, and we'll be here when they actually come along. Unless you want us to stay here, you can come back to us. But in the meantime, we'll send it back to Bo and Lori as we wait with Merrill, the third leg of the 4-person team and the second leg of the 2-person team. Back to you guys.
All right, Don, and yeah, they're going to be there soon, so just hold tight. Alan Carino on the left, Amanda Martin on the right. They're closing in on that half marathon title.
Yeah, to remind you, Alan is from Las Vegas. He won the 2022 Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon half with a 5:28 pace. Wow.
1:11:41, so he's going to be close to that today as well. They're both, and she's just past Children's Hospital. It looks like Fort Sanders as well. So she's not far off either.
No, she's not. And she was the first female to place first overall in the half with a time of 1:19:06. That's a 6:02 pace. And you were saying it looks like she might be a little bit quicker this time around.
She has been a little bit quicker today, so we'll see where she lands overall time. But she looks great. She doesn't look fatigued. She's not. Her posture looks good still, and so does his. They both look really good heading into the finish.
Alan looks like he's just cruising.
He just looks like he's cruising. Yeah, I don't know how far back Kian is at this point, but Alan looks like he's just heading in, having a great day.
Yeah, because Kian Bell and Alan were running really side by side for a while.
Into Sequoia Hill, so somewhere between miles 6 and 7 looks like where they separated, and Alan.
And again, these are the half marathoners. The marathoners, as you pointed out, are probably just a short step or few back.
Yeah, they're probably
kind of pacing themselves a little more because they got another 13.1 to go.
Yes, they do. They have. They're going to go right past World's Fair Park and just keep on going. So they have a little ways to go today.
I always remember running this. You were so happy when you would see the split. It would say half marathoners this way, marathoners this way.
Right.
And you're thinking, thank goodness I'm a half marathoner.
Could I?
Yes,
could I, would I? There goes Alan. And like you said, he has really not stopped that pace the entire time.
No, and like I said, he looks still very relaxed. He doesn't look like he's laboring, and I mean, that's a great way. That's how you know you're in great shape, is when you can finish and just feel really good like that. And so he's getting ready to head into World's Fair Park, it looks like now.
Yeah, we'll start seeing the crowds here, and everybody ready to welcome him into the World's Fair Park.
We're just
pick
gonna
up
stay with
back-to-back wins with the half marathon, which would be fantastic.
And that's great. We'll welcome him back anytime. We love this kind of running. We love it. We always have people coming in from out of town, from different states. We've had, I think, every state, and at some point has participated. People have come in internationally before, so it's always, you love the hometown stories, and we'll see that with the marathoners when we catch up with them. But we love to see people coming in from out of town too. That's great for Knoxville.
Well, it also speaks too about what you guys have been doing. The reputation that this race has as well, with people coming from all across the country.
And the numbers are up this year from last year.
The numbers are up. So we are approaching pre-pandemic levels again, and so we're very excited about that. And it was, we did 2 back-to-back. So 2021 was in the fall, and then 6 months later we did a spring marathon.
That's right.
So that it's a very quick turnaround for folks that are going to run the full marathon, and for some people who are running the half marathon. And so we were very excited with the numbers. I think we closed out yesterday with 6,330.
And last year you had what,
just over 4,000. Yeah.
Goodness.
So we had over 1,000 kids last night in the kids run.
Oh,
and
congratulations.
We are starting them. We're seeing them young, moving through. We both coach elementary school cross country, so we're seeing a lot of those kids. And then last night it was fun to see a lot of our middle schoolers out running. And then as they're getting older into high school, so they're sticking with it through life, and that's the most rewarding part about all of this, is to see people changing their lives and then sticking with the sport.
And learning about pace.
Yes,
especially those kids take off. Here we go.
Yep. And there he is, coming in for
our first place finisher.
Alan Carino again from Las Vegas. He is all by his lonesome right now.
And he won last year too,
he
the
has
half.
just left everybody in the rearview mirror, that is for sure.
He sure did.
Listen to the crowds too cheering him on as he's coming
goodness. Here he comes.
Got a smile on.
And usually people, you see them try to sprint toward that finish line. He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to look back. 1:11:36.
Wow.
So just barely faster than last year.
Yes, last year's time was 1:11:41. Wow.
That is great. Great. So you see Jim Vandersteeg and Jason walking off the screen there holding the tape. being down there, that is probably the most nerve-wracking thing of the day, is to hold that tape.
Really?
Because you don't want to take anybody out.
Yeah. You just have just enough tension, but not too much, right?
It's actually 2 pieces, and there's a whole science to it, but I always, anytime I've ever held that tape, I get so nervous because I don't want to knock down the person who's in the lead.
Oh my goodness.
So there is the top female runner, Amanda Martin, running. But also right now alongside of her, that is Brandon Huff.
And Brandon is another friend from out of town. We met him years ago at the 2018 Chickamauga Battlefield Marathon that takes place in November. He was 2nd that year. Jason was 3rd that year. And
interesting.
When they went to congratulate each other, found out that they were both race directors. So he no longer is a race director, but he was the race director for the Air Force Marathon for many years. And so we love welcoming him back to town. He's got a young son, he's married, so it's been really fun to watch the last few years as his family has grown, and then to welcome him back into town to participate. Again, it makes you feel really good that somebody's going to travel in and spend their weekend here with us.
All right, that's fantastic. By the way, we were just told that Kean Bell, 1:12:31.
1:12:31. Yep. And that's a great time for Kean as well.
Yeah. So again, here come more of the runners coming into World's Fair Park in that area, coming down and back into downtown. Welcome them back. The half marathoners. We'll be seeing the marathoners here shortly.
We should start to catch up with them now that we had the half marathoners coming in and finishing. We should be able to catch up with the marathoners and see how they're holding up.
So more of the half marathon finishers.
And he looks great as well. Bib number 1005. Gonna have to look him up. He must have added in a little bit late. But he looks great coming into the finish. And then you've got more here. It looks like a relay in the yellow bib.
So yeah, each bib, if you're watching at home, means something. There are relays, there's half marathoners, marathoners. There's 2-person relays, 4-person relays, all different kind of variations going on here that we've been watching.
And we do that. We have folks on the course, the meters, the radio operators, and they help with our communications on race weekend. And so they can, if they need to call us for anything or tell us that something's happening, they can identify first with the bib number. So, we've had times where, someone needed help, or, sometimes when we were just trying to figure out who Alan was, they can tell us based on the bib number, and then being able to look at the numbers, make sure everybody's going where they need to go.
Well, this is fantastic, starting to see everyone coming back into World's Fair Park, at least the elite runners. Actually, let's see, that almost looked like Brian Morseman running by just a moment ago. I know he was in the blue with the hat. If that was him, that would be a marathoner, but we'll have to double check on that.
And depending, we may see this as well today. Sometimes you'll see them switch if you're not having a good day. So they will opt in for the half instead of doing the full.
You can do that?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything is chip timed. So if you come through, we make an adjustment. So first, if you come through in a marathon bib, we're going to ask and make sure that you meant to switch to the half, and then we'll just adjust your race and put your time in for the half marathon.
Gotcha.
Now there's my speed. I'll ride the bike.
It'd be the bike.
Which is still tough. I don't know where he came from.
And there are people out there on bikes to kind of help out, to kind of make sure if anyone needs any assistance.
Course monitors, they help us as rolling course monitors. They're very helpful to make sure that people aren't getting lost. And again, another set of eyes to help, in case anyone is having a bad day or something that might be going wrong. They're out there to help, and they can keep us updated on things that are happening on the course. So there's Brandon and Amanda coming in.
Here she is. Check out her time here.
And again, she looks great.
Yeah.
She looks the pace is fantastic and the posture is good. So it'll be fun to follow her over the next several months.
It will be.
Gearing up,
and gearing up. And then hopefully we'll go to Indianapolis and watch her run in the trials.
Oh, that would be great. And that's one thing about watching these. You get to know these runners, and here we go.
There it is at 1:16.
1:16.
It was like 1:16:18.
And her last was 1:19.
Yes.
So
she's in great shape. She looks great. And like I said, it's going to be really fun to watch her over the next few months, and then hopefully make it to the trials and get there to be able to watch her in the winter.
So here's the question. We're seeing the elite runners coming through. How long now until the pack?
For the half marathon, it is usually closer to 1:45, 2 hours. 2 hours is sort of for the half marathon.
I wasn't even in the pack.
And then,
but you were there, Bo.
I was drafting.
You
You know what it
did
is? I was drafting off the pack. That's what I was doing.
You were having a good time. You're taking selfies, visiting with people. I am sure that you were stopped 1,000 times on that course.
You were the spirit of that half marathon.
The spirit.
I had a friend who used to say, you know, being towards the back, you just get more out of your money.
That's
you
right.
know,
Right.
you're just getting more out of your money. You're enjoying the day, and you're enjoying the
whole course, soaking it
refreshments, soaking it all in, making memories.
These are some marathoners coming up.
So that would be Brian. So number 3 is going to be Brian Mooresmith, and he right now looks great. So heading on that.
Or Colosso. Seth Colosso out of Lenore City.
Colosso.
Yeah.
And looking good so far.
And we're being told Steven Martinez is off to the right. We're being told right now. So again, these are.
And Seth is also trying to qualify for the Olympic trials. So this will be a good indication for him today to see how he runs, how his training has been building up. He's got a year, just under a year until the trials. And so he will want to have a race sometime probably late spring, early summer that would get him that trials qualifying time, and then he would spend the next several months building up to that race.
And Don actually talked with him, Don Dare, at the convention center before we even started. And he was talking about he was targeting 222, 221 is what he would like to see, if not better.
That would be a fantastic on this course.
Wouldn't it?
It is it's a tough course, and the thing is, so the Indianapolis course is going to be slightly easier than ours. It's a little flatter in Indianapolis. The weather is going to be cooler because it happens in November. There'll be February for the trials, but the course, it's a great course. And so if he does well on this course, that gets him his planning going into the next races.
All right, everybody, the race continues. Stay with us. We'll be right back. To the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. We hope you're enjoying watching
Well, this marathon play out. The half marathon, at least the elite runners, have already crossed the finish line.
Yes, they have. It's so much fun to watch all these runners of different ages, different levels, make their way through the course. In fact, let's go to World's Fair Park with Allison Smith. She has grabbed our winner. We want to hear from him.
Hey, Lori, thank you. So we're here with Alan Carino, who is the men's half marathon winner. And how are you feeling, my friend?
Pretty good. Happy about the win. Lovely race today. That's all I can say.
Let me tell you, when Alan was coming across the finish line, he looked unfazed. He did look like he was in pain. You made it look easy. You were saying it's not. Talk to us a little bit about the course, because this is your second year doing the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon, correct?
Yeah, definitely second year. It's a little bit of a challenging. I think it felt easier this year than last year. I guess experience of those hills. They didn't seem as bad this year as last year.
Maybe you knew what was coming this year, I guess, too, probably, right?
Exactly, yeah, I kind of knew what was coming.
Well, and then prep, too, for someone, you know, who's in the lead pretty much the entire race. You take first place. What do you do to put yourself ahead at the front?
Just mentally, I kind of knew how fit I was for this race, so and knowing the course, I knew that early on, like the first half of the race, I was holding back a slight bit, and then I knew the second half I can go hard on it.
Okay. So what's next, Alan? Now that you're done, enjoy the rest of the day. Go get some food.
Yep, exactly.
Eat your heart out. We were so happy you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll send you back to the studio.
Thank you.
Allison, thank you. And yeah,
So he
congratulations
held
to Alan.
back?
Yeah, he held back the first half. I thought he was moving. I mean, if that's holding back, my goodness gracious.
See how you feel. The goal for these runners that are up front that we're watching in a half marathon, most likely their goal is to do what we call a negative split. So holding back, maintaining a pretty consistent pace for probably the first 7 miles, and then that last 6 miles trying to go faster each mile time and picking the pace
What's
up.
impressive, what Alan said, he says, this is my second year. He's 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
But he became familiar with the course.
Yeah.
And he said that really gave him a leg up, if you will.
Right now, the runners, actually, we could probably walk out the back of our studio and wave at them. They're near us in North Knoxville. We're going to talk more about them, and we're going to hear from, I believe, Amanda Martin coming up here in just a little bit when you join us.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, stay with us. We've got more coverage just ahead.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, you want a bird's eye view or just a look at all the different areas of the race? Here you go. This is a great look. We have our crews everywhere along this course.
Yeah, we've got marathoners, half marathoners. Seth Colasso on the left there. He is one of the marathoners right now. They're really kind of behind us in North Knoxville right now, kind of 4th and Gill area.
And hi, guys. Great neighborhood to be in. It's a great, this is relatively flatter than some of the other parts of the course, and it's, you know, that's what I love about the course itself, is that you go through all of these wonderful neighborhoods in our community and you get to see the different parts of Knoxville.
Yeah, I mean, you really do, and that's something that Jason had brought up earlier when he was talking with Don Dare during Good Morning Tennessee, is that we try to highlight a lot of our different neighborhoods around the area. Stephen Martinez on the right, he is also making some good time as well as one of the marathoners, so we're going to keep a close watch on both of these two gentlemen as they are cruising along right now, but they still got a long way to go, that is for sure.
Yes, they do. All right, let's go to World's Fair Park once again, and Lexi Spivak. Lexi, take it away. Oh, look who you have with you, the winner of the women's.
Hey. Yes, Lori and Bo. I mean, I feel like I'm in with royalty right now. We have Amanda Martin. She just won the women's portion of the half marathon. Hey, congratulations, Amanda.
Thank you so much.
How did it feel out there today?
Honestly, just perfect conditions, and I just felt, at first I felt kind of rough, and then it kind of opened up, and I was like, okay, I still feel good, and then the times kept clicking off, and I was like, all right, still feel good, so I'll just keep pushing and stay with the guys, and yeah, it felt good today.
No, you did so well. And, you know, hey, let's give people a little bit of a history lesson here. You won back in 2021 the entire half marathon, okay? So this is such a great course. And I also want to mention she is a UT grad, UT alum, and a Knoxville native. What is it like to be running through your home city?
Honestly, this community has just been such a blessing to me, and it's an honor to be able to go out here and run this course. It's really tough, but the crowds are awesome, and you just feel like you're running with your community. So I'm really thankful for it.
Tips out there for other runners. Again, you know, you said, hey, it took me a minute to open up, but I just kept going when I felt that momentum. What would you tell others?
Consistency is key. Being disciplined with your training to get to your race day. But then when you're in the race, even if you have those doubts, just kind of push them aside and say, you know what, run the mile you're in, take it step by step, because you never know when you're going to feel good again.
Fantastic. I love that message, you know, because that 13 miles or 26 miles for some of them, it can feel like a long time. You can get in your head a little bit. Now, what does the rest of the day look like for you? I know that you said that you're a student.
Yes. So I'm in physical therapy school at ETSU right now, and I have a ton of studying to get done. My friends are down here, so we'll probably go to brunch and then head back to our studies. But I may do a light shakeout this evening just to open up the legs again.
Hey, congratulations again. Thank you for chatting with us.
Thank you so much.
Guys, back to you in the studio.
Wow. All right, Lexi. Okay.
From running back to the books.
Yes, back to the books, and then may run again tonight to shake the legs out a little.
Yeah, just a little bit. And that's important.
And she's doing, she is roughly somewhere around 80 to 100 miles a week in her training cycle. So, and that's one of the other things, you know, people don't think about, but the more you move, the better you're going to feel after a race of any distance. So you really, your instinct is, I want to sit down, I want to go lay down, I want to take a nap. But the more you move around, the less soreness you're going to have in the body, especially in the legs, as the days and weeks go on. And so, you know, we always try to do at least someplace, go for a long walk, or, you know, if we're out of town, we go see the sights and we do it by foot. She'll get out later, she'll do a shakeout run. That'll help her feel better when she gets up in the morning, and she'll, you know, she probably won't do a workout for a couple of days, but she'll have a workout this week.
Yeah, right back at it.
Yeah, right back at it in the long run.
Well, right now, giving you a live look, some of the runners along the Third Creek Greenway, where they are heading is where our Don Dare is right now at Tyson Park. He'll be there to greet this group. So Don, take it away.
Okay, Bo, yeah, coming right out of the Greenway, Tyson Park. As you can see, this is an incline here. It's another part of the race where they really got to gut it out, getting up this little hill. And just a few moments ago, Leanne Whitmer's husband, who is a marathon runner, just passed by, and Leanne me over here with the whole family. How did he do, Leanne?
He's doing great. Yeah, we're very proud of him.
How long has your husband been running?
Several years.
Several years.
2 years, yeah.
And you have all the children here.
Yes, girls, say hi.
Say hi. And Granddad.
Yeah.
Granddad, what do you think of your son running this thing?
I'm just glad he's doing it, not me.
Have you been a runner before?
I'm a sprinter, not a runner.
A sprinter. You sprint to the
short distances.
Yeah, you sprint to the refrigerator and back.
Exactly, that's right.
And as we see these runners coming up right now, they really have to gut it out, don't they, Kimberly?
Oh yeah, they do. This is like, the time is about halfway. We're really cheering on the full marathoners and letting the halfers know it's almost done.
And that's the key right now, is you can see literally the smiles on their faces when you cheer them.
Oh yeah, they're just like, they really enjoy the people coming out and cheering them on.
Thank you, Kimberly.
I can do that.
Pardon me?
I can cheer. I cannot run.
We'll leave that to you. Thank you, Whitmere family. And as we come up Tyson Park, they're still running, still running. You can see several of the half marathoners right now, the relay runners, as well as we have a group of marathoners coming up. Bo and Lori.
All right,
beautiful
Don.
day.
Yeah, a gorgeous day. Couldn't ask for
be
better
better.
conditions. Yeah, that is for sure. But it's great to see everybody out there. Great to see the families coming out to cheer on their loved ones as well, to kind of support them, whether it's a marathon or a half marathon.
Oh, it certainly is. And, you know, earlier, Bo, we had a lot of fun with Jason Altman, looking at some of the hot spots, the high points of the marathon and half marathon. So we're going to take you back for the second half of our drive-through on the course.
All right, well, we're going to check back with that in a second. We're waiting for the first, we understand, the first woman as far as leading for the top woman runner for the marathon. So we're waiting for that.
Yeah, we didn't want to not stay with
We
her for a
understand that
second.
she's coming up here in just a minute.
Okay, let's go to that second half of the course right now. Drive along with us.
With 13.1 miles, the half marathon course is now in our rearview mirror.
And it's time for a peek at what awaits our marathoners.
We're now just east of downtown, and the sign says road closed, but to marathoners, it will be anything but.
Yeah, it'll be open. It's just going to be different, right, Jason?
That's right. Let's take a look.
Yes, what's going on here? This is all because of the ballpark, right?
Yeah, Smoky Stadium is moving to downtown Knoxville, and everyone's excited about that. But as a result, we're going to have to bypass the project because our old roads used to go right through where it previously was. So we've created this greenway easement working with Denard Construction and the city of Knoxville that allows our runners and our wheelchair athletes to bypass the project, heading just along the fence line and then coming out east on the old city and then coming down onto Central Avenue.
You know, kind of cool to run by history being built before our very eyes.
And you know, speaking of history, we take the marathon course across the river into South Knox, into one of the area's most historic neighborhoods.
So we go from construction to really a beautiful, beautiful area. What a fun place to run.
Yeah, Island Home. I mean, it's a no-brainer that everyone has to run through here for the marathon.
It is. You know, when we laid out the course for the very first time back in 2005, there were certain areas of Knoxville that we said we had to showcase, and Island Home was one of those neighborhoods.
And they were voted by the runners like one of the best spots, right?
Yeah, so every year we'll do a neighborhood competition. We have the full marathon runners, because they're the only ones that get to see all the neighborhoods on the course. They get to vote which neighborhood came out, showed the most support, was their favorite neighborhood. And the first several years we had the competition, Island Home won slam dunk. However, the last few years, Sequoia Hills has taken that title away.
Oh man, yeah, they do come out too.
They do. Man, that was nice.
I love that area.
But now it's the stretch run back to downtown.
And the ultimate prize.
And last but not least, we end up here in World's Fair Park. This is where it all comes to an end.
Oh, we're so close to the finish line. I can only imagine what all the runners are thinking.
Yeah, whether they're doing 26.2 miles, 13.1, or maybe they did the 5K or the kids run the night before, this is what they've been waiting for.
Oh.
This is what they've been working towards,
Right
the
there.
finish line here at World's Fair Park.
Is what everyone is thinking about. Just get to that finish line. Seth Colasso right now, he could very well be the first person as far as the marathon is concerned to reach the finish line. He is out in front at this moment.
He is. He's from Lenoir City, local guy. We've got our eyes on him.
And he looks great. Again, still relaxed. Pace looks good, and we'll see how he does overall today.
All right, and with that, we'll keep an eye on him and the rest of the field. Stay with us. More of the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon after the break. And welcome back to the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. You're looking at our two top marathoners right now. Stephanie Buchanan, she is on the right, and on the left is Seth Colasso. Right now they are leading the packs as then we make our way now to the second half of the race, if you will.
Yes.
We've moved past the half marathon. We're now into the full.
Here we are. Seth is from Lenoir City, and Stephanie is from Bristol. She's 35 years old. Got our eyes on them. In the meantime, Bo and I just showed you another beautiful part of this run, and it's in the Island Home area. Let's go to Talis Shatara and Kurjan Donovan, who are our Living East Tennessee co-hosts. They're in South Knoxville, very close to that beautiful Island Home area. Guys, take it away.
Hey everyone, we're here in the Island Homes neighborhood. That's right. We're right by the Trailhead Beer Market. The energy is great. The weather, it's warming up a little bit. So far, so
Thank
good.
God,
yeah.
right? So far, so good. Of course. I mean, there's so many people out here right now. There are volunteers out here getting ready to cheer on our runners. They are, maybe a couple minutes away?
I think they should be close. To give you some context, we're at about the 22-mile mark. So when runners come on through here, this is the home stretch. They got 4 miles to go. They just put up a sign right here. It says the end is near. So
I know. When do you want to see that too?
Yeah, absolutely.
After a couple-hour race. Well, of course, it's been going on for quite some time. We're so excited to be out here. And of course, we're going to be hanging out with the community and the volunteers that are handing out waters and Gatorade and just keeping sure that they're, getting to that finish line.
Absolutely. They've got water and Gatorade. And this is is such a beautiful part too of the run. As we know, this marathon showcases the beautiful parts around Knoxville, this being one of them. The theme, this is your year, so great for all of these runners who are going to be coming through here in just, I think, a few minutes here, which should be very cool.
I know, like you mentioned, this is your year. It's really great for a beginner runner, an intermediate, and even an elite runner that has been doing this for quite some time from all over the world. This is your year to make it count, of course. We're so excited to bring it back and have the Knoxville Marathon here once again. And like we mentioned, there are so many places that are going to be encompassed with the Knoxville Marathon today, and we want to be able to remind you of some road closures as well. So be sure to head over to WATE.com for a full list of road closures and when they expect to open back up.
All right, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right,
Thank you,
Kurjan,
thank
Tala,
you.
thank you very much. Again, the crew, they're going to be heading that way here soon. You can see the runners. It almost scared me for a moment. If you're looking at the split screen, one went one way, one went the other, but they're not in the same spot.
It kind of makes you,
Yeah,
it gives you pause there for a second. You're looking at Seth Colasso from Lenore City and Stephanie Buchanan, both of the leaders there in the marathon.
That's right. They are out in front. They'll be making their way to South Knoxville here in just a little bit, heading toward where Tala and Kurjan, we just saw them a few moments ago near that 22nd mile marker. And I like the sign when it said the end is near. You know, they're almost there, but they still have to get to the Island Home neighborhood. And of course, some great crowds waiting for them there as always. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back though with more as we continue to cover the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon, so stay with us. And welcome back to the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. A beautiful day for a run, if you will. We're along Third Creek Greenway coming into Tyson Park right now, watching a number of runners right now as the field continues to push along, whether they're half marathoners or full marathoners.
Hey, good for them for being out there on this gorgeous day. We are really enjoying, and we know you at home are enjoying as well. We've been hearing from you watching our coverage of the marathon. You know, and if you look at the course map, there's a big change to look for this year. We kind of talked about it a little bit ago, but you'll see that road closed sign. It's at the construction site for the new multi-use stadium.
Yeah, the old course would have had the runners really going right through the construction. Instead, there is a greenway easement now, thanks to Denart Construction and the city of Knoxville, which allows those runners wheelchairs and the wheelchair athletes to bypass that project. And of course, a lot will be coming up to that here shortly.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go to Don Hudson right now. Don, bring us up to date.
Okay, hey, Lori and Bo, we just sorry to interrupt what you're doing, but they got the front runners coming through here right now, and this is one of those areas you were talking about. They have changed for the course. In fact, you can tell the color, this dark pavement here wasn't even here before, but they've made this so that the runners can cut through. That was the first runner leading the half marathon pack maybe, or the full marathon. Here's the second runner as well going through. Some of the vehicles that are actually with the marathon coverage can't even come down through here because it's not really built for cars. It's just built for the runners and the motorcycles. So the police have blocked it off there. They're down here. This is one of those new areas right off of Summit Hill. People are familiar, right off of Patton and Summit Hill. And they're not really going through the construction, I guess. They're going alongside it and kind of around it, but not right through it. So I know you guys were talking about those changes. Just had our first two runners go through. You can get back to explaining that to people, but just wanted to show the first runners going through one of the new areas, one of the changes in the course. Back to you guys.
Don, thank you very much. Yeah, we just saw the runners running right through there. We were just talking about that new addition on the Greenway.
Perfect timing. And, you know, while it may sound a little complicated, we did speak with Jason Altman, of course, with the marathon. He says the two changes, we're talking about that main one through that construction site, are nearly opposite in mileage lost and gained. So it leads to no worries for runners.
The best part about all this is what we lost on the first change, we more or less gained on the second change there. So it ends up being almost a wash. We've got a little bit of wiggle room where we can make up any difference out at Island Home towards the airport there. But rest assured, it's a course that is going to be certified. That way for folks who want to qualify for the Boston Marathon or New York City Marathon, we still remain a qualifier for all of those.
And the race director says these changes make the course a little bit flatter and maybe faster, so it could improve the race time. We will have to wait and see when this is all said and done, that is for sure. I don't know how you make Knoxville flatter.
You don't.
There's no way.
Maybe
it's him trying to
thing,
sugarcoat that a little bit.
We call it race spin.
That's right. His wife is a PR professional, so
there you go. There you go. Another good look at Seth Colasso right now, the leader, and again behind him, Steven Martinez, not that far behind. So they are continue to make their way through. But Martinez starting to reel Colasso in a little bit.
He's starting to reel him in, and you know, I was thinking that a few minutes ago when you said you had seen him in this shot. This is where we may see this. This may become a race between the two. You know, if Steven went out a little more conservative and Seth was a little more aggressive,
right,
we may see it come down to the two of them. And we may see one, you know, stay very strong. It could be that Seth is going to speed up in his last 10K.
This may be strategy.
It really is. I mean, it is a very long time to run and to race, and everyone has a different style. Right. You'll see some that will go out and they want to lead from the get-go. They want to be up front. That's where they feel comfortable. And then you see other runners who will hang back and they will keep an eye on everyone around them and see what it looks like. And they'll, you know, you see this with the elites. Boston will be coming up in April. You'll see that with the runners in Boston. They are very strategic about how they run their races. And these guys are really no different. They run enough and they race enough. They're elite athletes, so they are very strategic about how they're going to do this today.
Yeah, these runners coming back into the downtown area. The course kind of winds this way. We start downtown, we head west, we go back east, now we come back downtown, and then we'll head south here for a little bit.
Sure will. So it looks like we're on the back side of downtown here. So they'll have a really great hill going up State Street. I feel like every description I have is that it's going to be a hill.
It has a hill in it. All right, stay with us, everybody. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon.
Oh, we're so excited. Okay, we have a new leader right now.
do.
Steven Martinez has pulled out ahead. Is this strategy or is this something else?
He must feel great. And when he went by Seth, he didn't look back. He didn't look to the side. He went right on by him. And so he is focused and he, again, looks great. His posture is still good.
Yeah.
He must be feeling really good to have made that move at this point.
It was right there coming off of what, State, turning onto Hill. They're now heading toward James White, but that's kind of where he made the pass and has not looked back.
Has not looked back. So he's getting closer to that 20-mile mark, and we will see how he does as he crosses the bridge at James White Parkway and down into Island Home.
All right. Hey, Don Dare has made his way over to 22nd Street. Let's check in with him.
Lori, this is yet another hill, 22nd Street. We've just come off Tyson Hill. Cheryl, what's this hill like?
It's like mile 11, and so everybody talks about Nolan Hill because it's so long and steep, but at mile 11, you're kind of in your last reserves, and you have these hills to get through, and you're having to suck wind to get up these hills. So
and they are, aren't they? But you're here cheering them on, so are all the folks behind us.
Yes. Yeah, this is an important spot to make sure they can get the last 2 miles for the finish for the half marathoners. And the full marathoners is just halfway.
You could see them struggling up the hill. We were with Fleet Feet earlier this morning, and when did your group go by?
Seth is our first guy that went through. He's doing the full marathon, and we still have some folks in the back of the pack we're waiting on to cheer them on. I think like some of the people in the back of the pack need more cheering because it takes them longer out here on their feet.
And that's what this is all about. These are the recreational runners that we're seeing now coming, drudging their way up 22nd Hill. I do not like hills. Whenever I ran, I thinking to myself, why am I doing this? But once you crest the hill, and come on with me here, David. Cheryl, thank you. Come on with me here. Once you crest this hill, look what you have on the other side. It goes downhill. But guess what you have right after that? Another incline up 22nd Street. So it is a challenging course, but here we are halfway through, just about halfway through for the marathon runners. And they are coming in, the half marathon runners, just a little bit more for them. As they come up the hill, you can see, here we got a walker here. Keep going, keep going. Yeah. And down the hill they go. Bo and Lori, this is where you separate those that are in good condition and those that have wondered why are they doing this. But they know that the end is near, especially for those half marathoners. And there's quite a ways to go yet for the marathoners, but they're doing well.
Right,
and we
Don,
haven't seen our Fleet Feet group yet, but we know that they're coming along. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Lori and Bo, back to you.
Don's one of the biggest cheerleaders along the course. That is for sure. But he's right though. When you go on 22nd, you got that hill. Yeah, it goes down, but then you realize there's another one.
There's another one.
But once you get through that, you're okay.
For a little bit.
Got to get
for
through
a
those
minute.
two. For the half marathoners, you're fairly good once you get past those hills. But yeah, for the full marathoners that we're seeing right now.
That's Steven Martinez pulled out in front. He's what, at mile 20?
20?
He's right around 20 right now. He is. It looks like heading on to James White Parkway. It looks like the on-ramp, so he's heading towards James White Parkway. He looks great. I saw him, he's taking goo, so he's getting that sustenance that we talked about earlier. And posture is still great, looking good so far.
And Stephanie Buchanan also.
She looks amazing. Yeah. She looks to be on Central right now, just passing the dog park, and she looks, again, relaxed. And as you can see, she's carrying water for herself, so that she's planned ahead, and that way she has it all the way through the race. And both look really, really good.
All right, so while we look at them, these are the elite runners. You know, just a few seconds ago, Don Deere was showing us the folks that most of us can relate to. Well, I'm just talking for myself. You guys are runners. But runners of all ages and places are taking the course for the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. Some of them are indeed newer runners.
That is true. WATE 6 on your side reporter Molly O'Brien spoke with 2 first-time participants who have been training hard for race day.
For months, runners have hit the pavement to train for race day. Some are seasoned runners, while others are first-timers, like Bryce and Shannon.
Whenever I start running, I kind of get in a zone, get away from everything, and just kind of get focused. Don't think about nothing else.
Some are running the race as part of a bigger goal.
My plan is to do a full Ironman, and I wanted to run a marathon first.
Both runners have been training for months to take on the 26.2-mile course.
Just stay with it every day. I started out running 2 miles a day, and then I built up and just kept on going, and now we're hopefully shooting for 26 and maybe more.
The Knoxville Marathon is a little harder to train for just because it's so hilly. But, I mean, luckily in East Tennessee, there's no flat runs. So the best way to train is just train around here because it's always going to be a, elevated run and I guess just a lot of miles under your belt.
Training for the race can be mirroring of the course, many ups and downs. Shannon believes persistence is key.
Consistency. If you don't do it every day, you just ain't no point in doing it. You might as well stay consistent, unless you're one of these natural runners that can run all the time.
Both are hopeful to cross the finish line come Sunday.
Just come in, try not to go full throttle all at once, stay steady, keep a good pace, and hopefully we can get under 4 hours, maybe.
My goal, if I could do 3 hours and 30 minutes, I'd be happy. But if I could somehow do 3:15, maybe I'll qualify for the Boston, so who knows.
In Knoxville, Molly O'Brien, WATE 6 on your side.
Molly, thank you. Talk about keeping up a good pace.
Wow.
With Stephen Martinez right now. Great shot there coming across the James White Parkway Bridge.
One of my favorite shots of Knoxville is on that bridge. And this is a place, today not so much because the wind has died down, but this would be a place where yesterday would have really been affected by the wind.
Oh my goodness.
But, we're very lucky that everything has calmed down. The weather today is perfect. The sun is shining. The temperatures are still great. So it's fun to see them get out there and do their thing and do it so well.
Oh, absolutely. He's making his way. He's on the way to Island Home in that area.
Yeah, he'll take this right shortly down off the James White Parkway, and he'll be headed straight to Island Home within a matter of minutes.
And this is kind of really one of those, if you've been a part of the marathon, this is kind of like the last big hurdle until you get to head back downtown on the finish line. This is it right here.
Absolutely. And it's a great, we've talked a lot about the neighborhoods this morning. It's a great place to run through, and dogwood season, it makes it even prettier.
It's gorgeous.
And so, and it gives them a little bit of flat. We were talking about that most of that area is going to be flat. It's down by the water. Island Home is fairly flat, so it's going to be, it gives him a little bit of a break from the hills. He will have to go back up Council Place into downtown, but then from there,
a big one.
It is from there you can literally say to them, though, it's basically downhill from here.
Yeah,
so once you get to Gay Street again, it'll be flat and then downhill going back into the finish line.
Stephanie Buchanan, who's in the lead for the women in the marathon, is right at Hill Avenue.
Right, so
just crossed mile 19, close to 20.
Yeah, coming up to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in that area, to give you an idea of where she is. And again, making good time as well. She'll be on the James White Parkway here shortly. And again, to the left, we're watching Stephen Martinez as he just made his way off of that bridge.
What's going through a runner's mind right now? I mean, we've heard about hitting the wall.
So for them, I would say, for these two athletes that we're watching right now, it's mostly about how do I feel, am I hitting my pace? So you're doing a constant check from head to toe. How does everything feel? Does anything feel like it's stretching? Does anything feel like I'm injuring it? Is anything pulling or tugging or, just checking in with the body? And that's just a constant when you're racing at this kind of pace and at this kind of level. And again, depending on what their goals are long term, we know for Seth, he wants to do the Olympic trials.
Right.
So he's really trying to hone in on the pace and how he feels and, making sure that he's getting enough sustenance, just feeling out the body. So it's really a conversation with yourself.
Sure.
As we get in, as this goes on a little longer and you get into folks like myself who's going to run a 4+ hour marathon, it's more like, I want to make it to this spot, I want to do this, checking. It's a conversation with yourself over and over again.
Well, let's pick up the conversation with Talis Shatara and Kershawn Donovan over at Island Home.
Oh my gosh, yes, we
Woo!
see them
We
right
see
now.
coming our way.
This has been very exciting right here at Island Home neighborhood. It's really exciting. We're cheering them on. We've been waiting. We've even heard that he was on the bridge right next to us. We saw him coming around.
And we see
There
him
he
cheering.
is.
He keeps going.
He gave us a thumbs up.
Energy from all the people cheering him on. These are spectators, volunteers in this area. And there he goes. Look at that.
I know,
Keeping
there
a
he
great
goes.
pace as well. He probably saw the sign, the end is near. But great energy here from all the spectators and volunteers helping out.
I know, it's giving me a lot of
I know,
energy, right?
it is.
It's a little chilly, a little early, but I am feeling really good. But we'll toss it back to you.
And real quick, we're actually seeing a second runner come on through here in that yellow. So
yeah,
not too far behind, catching up.
We'll toss it back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much. Yeah, we had Steve Martinez followed by Seth Colasso.
All right, now let's check in with our own Don Hudson. He's along the race route. Don.
Yeah, Bo, I think what we have here is our first leading female, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you guys know better because you've been following us a little bit better. About our 4th or 5th male, number 1 female, tag number 44 going by. I'm just staying out of the way here so you can get a good shot. They're coming down, and then they're going to be turning right here on George Dempster as they get closer and closer to finally finishing this race. But just, I gotta say, what a beautiful day for racing. There's not a cloud out here, just beautiful blue skies. The temperature's nice and cool. As someone who's run a few marathons, it's a lot better when it's cool like this than it is to have it really hot or really, really cold. So beautiful day, but people, big spaces between runners now because the leaders, they're clearly the elite runners, and then you have everybody else, right? But anyway, the first female just went by, getting closer to the finish line. Bo and Lori.
All right, Don, thank you very much, my friend. And again, we're watching the runners for you right now. On the right, that is Stephanie Buchanan. She is leading, as Don just showed you, just past him, heading now down toward the James White Parkway.
And on the left side of your screen, who we've been following, who emerged ahead of Seth Colasso, is Steve Martinez.
He is making some good time there, heading toward Island Home. So he'll go through Island Home, and then he'll actually backtrack.
He will come back out. So they go in and then back out on Island Home Boulevard there. So and into Sevier. So we'll get to see them in 2 different places coming this way. They make a big loop through Island Home. There's a little bit of one of those out and back spots where they have to do a little turnaround to get that mileage. But
this is a chance where sometimes if you're sitting 3rd or 4th, you get an idea. Wait a minute, that's what I'm trying to catch. You kind of get an idea of how much you either got to pick it up or what you got to do.
This is a great location that when whoever's in 2nd and 3rd, we know Katie Bax is in 2nd place right now. Once she gets to that area, she may be able to see exactly how far back she is from Stephanie. She may make a move. She may not feel like it today. Same thing with our full marathon men. They get down in this area, they'll be able to kind of gauge how far back they are and whether or not they think they can catch
They can reel them in before the home stretch there.
Yeah,
sure.
You know, I have to say, watching this from our vantage point, and I hope you get this at home too. I'm sure you're thinking it. We're so proud of our city, but looking at these beautiful views, what a wonderful event. Perfect day. And aren't we proud of Knoxville?
That's right. It's a great way to showcase the city. And that's one of the things that I love about the sport of running. Again, it doesn't matter what pace you're running. Wherever you go, you can explore the city that you're in. And I just love that people come in from out of town, that they come to visit here, they spend the weekend. You know, we had so much going on this weekend, but they're getting a great view of everything we have to offer here.
They really are. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Giving you a live look right now, the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. That is Stephanie Buchanan. She's the top woman right now in the race, making her way into South Knoxville.
And she's pretty far ahead of her competition.
Yes, I've been checking in with Katie Bax's husband, and she's in second place, but it seems she's about a minute and a half back of Stephanie. So again, they still have a long ways to go. So anything could happen. Right now, Stephanie looks great. She still looks relaxed, and her posture's great. Katie could be making a move. You never, I mean, it's one of those things again. So Katie's also trying to get back to the Olympic trials. And so she's got strategy for this race of what she wants to run. And it could just be about time for both of these ladies. It may not be about the win. It could be about hitting the pace and the time.
Yeah, because they're getting ready for something further down the road.
They're getting ready for something, using a marathon as a training race for future marathons.
I can't even imagine. All right, let's send it back down to World's Fair Park. Check back in with Allison and Lexi.
Hey, Lori, Bo, Christy, things are going great here at World's Fair Park. We got to tell you, this is the real celebration, okay? They've done the hard work, they're crossing the finish line, and now they just get to really have a giant party.
We've got the cowbells out here. We've got all the signs. My favorite sign that I've seen, it's right across from us, says, "You're not sweating, you're sparkling." Which I think
love
is
that.
fantastic.
You got to put a positive spin on things, and really, you're just seeing nothing, of course, but smiling faces. Sure, they're tired when they're crossing the finish line.
Well, and it's really cool when you're down close to the finish line too, when you see those runners cross the finish line and really just kind of their whole body relax or collapse, and it's like they've done this, they have pushed their limits, their loved ones are down there waiting for them, embracing, they're getting their medal. It's just a really cool moment.
Yeah, and you know, hey, if you're still looking for a place to cheer on, especially some of those marathon finishers, we know we're going to see the men come through here in just a little bit. Come on down to World's Fair Park, bring the family, and just enjoy yourselves. Guys, we're going to go back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you so much. And we keep our eye on these runners. We've got Stephanie Buchanan in the lead for the women, and she is closing in on Island Home.
Yeah, she is. She's off the James White Parkway. She's in South Knoxville to the left there. Stephen Martinez. He is the male leader right now. He is in the Island Home community right now, running through there. So again, we're going to keep a close watch on all of them as they continue to make their way toward the finish line.
And he just did that U-turn.
That little U-turn we talked about. To get the mileage. So he just made that 180, which can be tough this far into the race to be able to navigate that and stay upright.
Let's go back to Talon Kurjan right now in South Knoxville. They're waiting for Stephanie to arrive.
Yeah, we're waiting for Stephanie to arrive. Thanks so much, Lori and Bo. Yes, we're out here right now. I think we see her. She's coming on down. We did see Stephen Martinez, and he wrapped around here about 8 or 9 minutes ago. And now Stephanie Buchanan is in the female lead right now. We're so excited. Girl power over here.
Yes, girl power. We see her coming down right now. I believe she's in the red right there keeping a great pace. And she is catching up with that guy right in front of her. As you can see, people are getting excited here. We're at the Trailhead Beer Market right in the Island Homes neighborhood area. And soon we should be seeing Stephen Martinez wrapping around here a bit.
I know, Stephen Martinez, that's just to give you a little bit more context.
Oh, and here
there they are.
Look at her going.
Of course, doing a wonderful job. Got the game face on.
People, of course, handing out waters and refreshments. They're blaring the horns. As you see these runners come by. We also saw some half marathoners who finished the race come here to hang out, cheer people on during this race here.
Yeah, and just to give you a little bit of context, they are going to run all the way out through the Island Home neighborhood, and then they're going to wrap back around, head on down to Sevier, loop on Gay Street, head over to that finish line. It's going to be a really great time, and of course, this is the final stretch for them.
It is, and before that, it's fun. We're here. You can see James White Parkway. Is that right? And then you can see the runners, running along, and they wrap around here before they continue on that marathon race. So it's super cool. There's also fire pits here at the Trailhead Beer Market. People are sipping on beers and Gatorades and enjoying the time here.
I know, that's what the Knoxville Marathon is all about. There's no rules when it comes to beer at any time of the day for the Knoxville Marathon, but we just got word that Stephen Martinez is about to wrap around behind us, of course, and head on down to Sevier to cut onto Gay Street, heading to that finish line. Of course, everybody is expected to do the same here in a couple of minutes.
So it sounds like we'll be seeing him here in just a few minutes.
I love it.
All right, we'll send it back to you guys. Of course, we'll keep you updated.
All right.
Good.
Every time we hear about the beer stop, I think about that runner.
With the burrito. Yeah, with the burrito.
Had a burrito and a beer.
We'll have to let Tala and Kurjan let us know if they see somebody run over there and get a burrito during the marathon like you did that several years ago. But again, a live look for you right now. These are our leaders. On the right, you have Stephanie Buchanan. She is out in front. She has been out in front for the women. And to the left, Stephen Martinez. We saw him spring to the lead just before coming out of downtown, making that turn from State onto Hill. So again, he's been hanging on, and we'll see now. We talked about this earlier. When they make those turns, you're going to see those trying to catch the leaders. They're going to get a better idea of what they need to do here to try to catch them, if that is indeed their plan, or if they're just going to try to hold their own.
And is there an opportunity for them to actually kind of pass by each other?
There could be, yes. So as he comes back out, he will start to run into full marathoners that are coming in towards Island Home. So they will pass one another on the boulevard there, coming in and out. She may or may not see another female runner, depending on where Katie is, how far Katie is back behind her. But she will certainly see male marathoners coming in. So this is a nice place too. Just even you're very tired at this point, you're very far into the race, but it's nice to see the other runners. You know, they've been by themselves for so long that seeing all of the spectators is really great, but seeing other runners also gives you a little bit of a boost.
And it gives them an idea too, as you've been mentioning, that okay, I need to keep this pace, I need to pick it up, I've got this kind of a lead. You get a better view of what's going on, because like you said, you're out there by yourself, you have no clue what's happening behind you.
No clue what's happening behind you, and we always tell the kids, don't look back. You know,
that's right.
The thing, there's too much energy in looking back behind you to see who's there. Now some of them, you know, they may have family on the course, or they may have friends on the course that are giving them updates as well. I'm sure that Andy is out somewhere all over the course.
There they go. They're passing each other now.
There they go.
Look at that.
That's great. What a great shot. So Andy's going to be out somewhere, various places, checking in with Katie. You know, husband and wife. We've done that. Jason and I have in various races. So he's somewhere on the course, keeping an eye on her. And giving her things that she needs. So if she needs an extra goo, or she needs an extra water, or a sports drink or something. So they may have eyes and ears on the course as well, or they may not, and they could just be flying solo. And both look really, really good. I have no doubt that they're going to be able to hold their own towards the end. And just a great day for both of them.
It really is. And you know, speaking of support, we haven't really talked about the Pacers.
That's true.
Oh,
you see
and
the
those
flags,
are the
those
special
little flags you
group.
see
Yes.
out there, right?
Yes. So we have several people who come back every year to pace for the marathon. Half marathoners use them as well, and their whole goal is to hit that time frame. So if you're a 3:45, you want to come in at 3:45. If you're a 4 hour, you want to come in at 4 hours. And that gives our runners and our athletes the ability to get in and not have to worry so much about the pace. So if you're a newer runner, if this is your first event and you really want to stick to, you know, I want to run a 2:30 half marathon, get in and stick with that person. For full marathoners, it's very important. You know, a lot of full marathoners are going to have a time goal. Want to get in at 4 hours, so get in with that 4 hour pacer. And the pacers do a really great job. Their whole training session leads up to being able to run that pace for the entire distance. And so it's great to have them. It's great that we have so many that come back every year and agree to do it, because it's truly a volunteer job and a servant leader position there.
All right, let's go back to South Knoxville. Tala and Kurjan along the race route.
Hey, you guys. Yes, we're out here right now. Of course, Stephen Martinez has just wrapped around. He is coming, and we're knowing that they're coming is because we see all the red lights.
Absolutely. He should be here any minute. It's super exciting. We're excited to see him come on down this road here.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. Of course, we've seen a lot of the volunteers passing out waters and doing so many different things. All right, here they come. We're really excited, of course. Now, Stephen Martinez, he has been leading the pack from the start, which is really exciting. And now he is, like we mentioned, if you missed it before, what they do is they go down the Island Home neighborhood. They loop back around. This is the final stretch. They head on down to Sevier, cut into Gay Street right at the tail end of it,
and head
make
on
it
to
all
the
way
finish
to the finish line.
And one of the cool things that we just heard, we were just talking to Joe, who is the owner here of Trailhead Beer Market. He was talking about the Burrito Bandit, who runs on through, pounds of beer, takes them in a burrito, and keeps on running. It sounds like fun.
I know.
Yeah,
I
we
think
might need a beer and burrito later.
Lower lawyer, somebody had gotten a burrito maybe in the past couple of years. I think that might be us.
And here we go. The leader of the pack, Stephen Martinez, doing absolutely phenomenal. He just picked up a water on the way, and look at him go. Fast.
Very fast. We're really excited, of course, that he has been leading the pack, and now they're heading to the final stretch. This is the 22-mile mark, so
Super exciting. The end is near. All right, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Oh, thank you so very much. It is quite a thrill to see them as they keep, pacing toward their goal. And talk about pace. As we were just mentioning, that's so important to sticking with your plan. You got to have somebody there to help you make sure you stay on track.
Yeah, we're going to get a closer look at what we call the pacers out on the course. That is straight ahead. We're going to meet the volunteers using their own running skills to help everyone stay on the pace that they want. There goes one right there. And welcome back to the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. A beautiful day, giving you a live look downtown right now at the finish line.
And it's coming up pretty soon for some of our top finishers in the marathon. It's just, it's within sight. This is the tough one.
This is that last little hill. That's right. Yeah, Stephen Martinez. Yeah, you've been running through Island Home. It's flat. It's great. And then you
beautiful.
It's gorgeous, and then you get to this hill. It's one of my least favorite in the whole city.
But you've done it, and so at this point, you've got about 2 miles to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's so close. He'll make a loop through downtown and then head down Clinch and into World's Fair Park. I mean, we are so close to watching him finish this race, and this really is his last big hurdle, so to speak. Once he gets onto Gay Street, it's fairly flat through Gay Street into Market Square, and then from there it's downhill on Clinch and into World's Fair Park.
Look at that beautiful view.
Well, one person he does not need are the pacers that we were talking about. He's got his own pace.
He's his own pacer.
But our own Krista Gallant spoke with one coach on how he trained his runners for this year's marathon to get ready to pace.
Okay, a pacer is someone who has agreed to run the race at a particular pace so that they'll finish in a certain time.
Terry Higgins' first marathon was 25 years ago.
One of my friends said, "Hey, I'm going to come visit. Do you want to run an 8K with me?" And I was like, "Well, what's an 8K?" And so I figured out that that was about 5 miles, and that if I was going to run this 8K with him, I better do a little bit of running. And then on race day, at about a mile in the race, I was like, this is awesome.
Higgins says when he first started, he didn't really know what he was doing. He just loved the sport. But as he got more familiar with marathons, he started volunteering to help out. That's when he was asked to become a pacer for the Knoxville Marathon.
A pacer has agreed to say, I can run and finish the race at a particular time, at a pace that is comfortable for them.
This year, he's in charge of organizing the other pacers and making sure everyone runs the race at their designated times.
When we're out there, we're there to provide entertainment, strategy, and sometimes just the motivation of being out there, that when you're running with someone, for some reason it just feels a little easier.
Higgins says all of his runners will be carrying flags that have their pace and finishing times on them, making it easier for other runners to spot them.
We basically have a little cheat sheet that tells us at mile 16 you should be at this time, and so we can gauge whether or not we are either ahead or behind on our pace. Usually we try to be within 15 seconds or so.
So if you're looking for a running partner that you can keep up with, you can count on Higgins and his pacers to keep up the pace.
We do the thinking so that the runners don't have to.
Important job.
Very important job. And I tell you what, right now we're keeping up with the leader. There he is, Stephen Martinez, just crossing the Gay Street Bridge, coming back into downtown.
Oh, he is oh so close to the finish line.
So close to the finish line.
I mean, this is now when, if you are feeling fatigued, if your body's aching, this is when you get that second jolt, I guess, if you will.
That last little jolt, you at this point, you're going, for all of us, regardless of pace, you're going to finish.
Yeah.
So it's a matter now of tempering your excitement and your eagerness. The body is tired. So again, it goes for any level of runner. You get to this point, you're like, okay, I'm almost there. I'm going to finish this thing. This is a great day. But you don't want to hurt yourself on the way to the finish, and you don't want to pick up. Sometimes you pick up the pace and then you realize that you should have not picked up the pace. So it's really about trying to be patient.
Don't kick it in too soon.
Not slow and steady, but steady.
Yeah. All those jokes and all of the things about things being a marathon, not a sprint. It really is. It's the patience to be able to train and run a full marathon, whatever pace you're going to run it. There's a lot of patience involved in that. And we talked earlier about discipline, and it's really staying on your plan all the way to the end.
Let's go to World's Fair Park with Allison and check in there as Stephen Martinez makes his way. He gets closer and closer.
Hey, Lori. Okay, I'm here with the local runner. So we've got Campbell, who placed second in the half marathon for the men's. Kian, I want to know, because you're at school in Virginia, so coming back home, running this course, this is your first time. What was it like? Did Knoxville treat you well on this race?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love being back in town, and it's really cool to get out here on these roads that I ran training in high school and be doing race pace on them in a major marathon.
Well, and you mentioned to me too when you were going through, because they're at the front, they're the lead, not a whole lot of other runners around with you. The crowd made a huge difference for you. Talk to me about that.
Absolutely. I mean, the crowd support is just fantastic in Knoxville. I mean, even in the Greenway portion where it's like back in the woods and I wouldn't expect there to be that many people, there were people there cheering us on. And every time they cheer, it gives you a little burst of pace, helps you get through.
Well, and you said you run a few half marathons. You're working up to a full marathon. And I want you to share with everyone where you plan on running that full marathon, because I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing the marathon in Valencia, Spain this December.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. You were fabulous. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right. Hey, that's the one thing about marathons. Yeah. You can choose some in exotic locales. He's headed to Spain.
Yeah. Hey, let's go to Don Dare right now. He's at Market Square. Don.
Hi, Don. Here they come. Well, Bo, we see the motorcycle group. We're at Market Square. This is mile 25-2, which means there's one more mile to go. We have the motorcyclists in front of us. Here they come. And here's our leader right now. Bo and Lori, tell me who the leader is. Who's the leader?
Steve Martinez.
But he's coming right. There's Steve Martinez right now. Good pace on Steve. Look at that. Just fabulous pace. Right on. Look at that. Hardly even breathing. Go Steve! Go Steve! Woo! Wow, wow. Look at that pace that he's running right now. He's going to make a right, then he's going to make a left. And he is all by himself. We've got about a dozen, 2 dozen people here at Market Square ready to cheer on the runners as they round the corner, but it appears as if it's going to be a few moments before the rest of the pack catches up to Mr. Martinez right now. Bo and Lori, back to you.
Don, thank you very much. Yeah, Steven Martinez really, once he made that pass downtown before he got to South Knoxville, he has left everybody in the rearview mirror. He is just moving.
He really has. We're having to adjust our crews pretty quickly just to keep up with
to get everybody where they need to go.
True. That is true. But again, he's making his way. He's kind of winding his way back down toward World's Fair Park. Looks like he'll make a right down here, and then he's going to be there.
He is almost there.
He's going to make this turn and then head to the bridge and then down underneath it.
Just don't push it too hard right through there. There you go.
We're just going to stay with him here. Let's watch him finish this thing.
And so much fun. And all of those officers that are on that course, we have over almost 200 police officers that are on the course. You see all of the course monitors. There goes one of the hand cyclists, it looks like. Just, I mean, it's really, it takes a village, and the village comes together on this day every year.
You hear the fans along the race course there, just cheering Steven Martinez on as he gets ready to make his way. He'll make a left coming up here once he crosses the bridge. This is where we started.
This is where he started. Yes. And notice, the scaffolding has come down. Everything is being cleaned up. We go right into work mode. It doesn't stop once everybody goes through the start line. We start to bring everything down. The city will start picking things up behind the last runners.
Kind of pick up as you go. He's on the Clinch Avenue Viaduct getting ready to go down to World's Fair. And what a beautiful scene. I know a lot of people loved finishing up at Neyland Stadium. I mean, that's pretty cool. But you got to say, you're at the iconic landmark of Knoxville, the Sun Sphere. World's Fair, 1982. It's been there for a long time, and that's a cool place as well.
And we've talked quite a bit today about hills. This is actually a better finish. Going into the stadium,
it was a hill.
Folks remember going up Estabrook was a pretty steep climb before you could get into the stadium. And our logistics here make it a lot easier. This location for the finish line makes it much easier for us to get to the runners more quickly, for the runners to get to post-race food and stretching and things more quickly. When we were in the stadium, we had to go over to Thompson Bowling for several years. Some years we were able to do it in the stadium, but you're still having to climb a lot of stairs. So this is really a great area for families to come and spectate all morning.
Here we go.
And then be right there at the finish line.
Yeah, he'll make this left, and he'll be right there at the finish line. We showed it to you earlier. And there he goes around the corner, and here comes our winner for the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon.
Steven Martinez.
And what a great day for him.
People cheering, they have their cameras out.
I love it. 2:32:29 it looks like.
Yep.
And that's a great time for this course.
Wonderful time.
So he kind of paced himself at the beginning, kind of was watching Seth Colosso, who was really leading out of the get-go
Out of the gate.
for the first 13 or 14 miles, and then he kind of started to reel him in at that point, and then just kind of took off. And again, congratulations going out to Steven Martinez.
And if I'm not mistaken, he really pulled ahead of Seth on a hill.
He did, coming up off of Central, going towards back into downtown for just that brief minute that they were there, and then back towards James White Parkway. They got to the top of that hill, and he made that pass and didn't look back. I mean, that is one, as athletes, something just to appreciate, to watch. He had the confidence, and it takes, again, I talked about patience, but the confidence to be able to pass Seth and just keep going and maintain his pace. I'm just so proud for him today.
Well, here's
This is Stephanie Buchanan. Yeah.
Looking good right now as well. Right now, no one's really challenging her.
No, and she has, again, same thing. She has taken a commanding lead. She looks great. She's still relaxed. Her posture's good. I saw her just checking her watch, so she's making sure that she's on pace for where she wants to be. And she's very close to finishing this race today. Coming up Council Place. It looks
oh,
like
this is the one again.
This is just a different view than what we had earlier. We're looking down the hill this time instead of up it. But when she makes this turn onto Gay Street, and then same thing, she'll be at Don Dare pretty soon, and then the finish line.
This is where I really have to applaud them and just marvel at their strength and endurance, taking on the hill without really changing your pace.
No, and you know, it takes a lot of practice. And the nice thing about living in East Tennessee, I know she's in Bristol, but the nice thing about East Tennessee is that you train on these same hills, same types of hills all the time. So you know, usually when you're going to pick your race, you know what you're getting into. So, you know, there have been times when we went to Asheville, North Carolina. We knew it was straight up and straight down. So that's how we trained. We went into Sequoia Hills and just ran those hills over and over again. You know that if you're going to go to another location, I talked earlier about Indianapolis, it's fairly flatter than what we have here. So you might adjust here and run closer to Neyland Drive for most of your long runs to have the body ready for the flat terrain.
Looks like she just left her water bottle. She's kind of freed up that other hand right now. She's like, I don't need it. I'm about 2.5 miles away from the finish. Yeah.
She is not going to let up at this point, and you can see that too when they start to shed clothes or shed accessories. We're near the end. We're excited. Again, it's the patience that she'll need to get through downtown and to the finish line.
And that's the thing, you know, Laura, you brought it up too. Is like, your hats off to them keeping this pace, whether it's the hills here at the lake going. They've already got 23, 24 miles in their rearview mirror. I mean, think about that for a moment, and still moving at this clip. It's just unbelievable.
It goes back to the discipline and the training. And again, and it's for any pace. So I know, you know, we're watching the leaders, and that's very exciting, but even someone who's going to run a 5-hour marathon is watching their pace the whole time. They've trained at that pace. It's a lot of work that goes into it. And so for everyone who's going to start and finish today, just hats off to them for putting forth the effort to do this on top of your full-time jobs and having children or whatever your daily things are. And the marathon specifically, a half marathon's a little more manageable for, like I say, like the working parents, but hats off to everybody.
Absolutely, and we're glad to be a part of it all and help bring it to you. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. A live look for you out along the race route. Very important individual we're looking at right here.
Yes, this is Glenn Richter's, and you tell us what he has done. You mentioned him earlier.
I am smiling ear to ear being able to see these two gentlemen in this shot. So Glenn Richter's has been certifying this course since 2005. And he submits the paperwork to USATF to make sure that it is a certified course. That's very important for people who are trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon on this course. So we talked earlier, any changes that are made at any point to the course, regardless of what it is, has to be remeasured and then resubmitted. So every year Glenn is remeasuring and resubmitting because there's always construction in Knoxville that makes us reroute something.
Yeah,
and all of
especially this year.
Yeah, especially this year. And all of those green numbers that you see on the roads throughout the course, Glenn has been out running and painting those.
All right. Hey, we want to go back to Don Dare right now at Market Square. Don's awaiting the arrival of Stephanie Buchanan. Don.
Well, we haven't seen Stephanie yet, but we do have a runner coming up here. Stephanie has not yet turned the corner yet. Good pace on this runner. We have 1 more mile to go. And here she comes. Here she comes right now. Oh boy, look at that. Just perfect pace for her. Right on track, pumping those arms, chest out. Being inspired by the group here at Market Square. She has 1 more mile to go. But I want to tell you about another runner that we haven't seen yet. And here is a runner right here. Come here, honey. What's his name?
Hal Bybee.
Hal Bybee. And who is he?
My dad.
He's your daddy. and this is your sister here? Hello. Tell me about your daddy. How long has he been running?
How long? Like almost 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
Have you ever been out to his race before?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What do you think of him running in a race like this?
Probably.
Pardon me?
Cool.
It's cool, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me about Hal, if you would.
Oh, well, he is the most dedicated runner I've ever known. And he actually started running a long time ago. He started running the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, the 5K.
Okay.
When we were going through a really tough time I had breast cancer, and he started running the 5K to keep himself motivated, and then he's kept on, and now he's become a marathon runner. So it's been a great story for our family and something that he looks forward to every year.
And that's what this is about too,
yeah,
isn't it?
And these runners are amazing. I mean, these runners are unreal, and they really have their own community. They have their own community of runners. They're just one big giant friend group, and they have so much fun together.
And we haven't seen Hal yet, but this is what Hal looks like, and we'll be cheering for him when he comes across the finish line, or at least here at mile 25-2, 1 mile to go on Market Square. We haven't seen any other runners yet. That tells you how much further the ladies as well as the lead men are. Back to you, Bo and Lori, in the studio.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for Hal.
Yes,
for sure.
we
Now
will.
we got the picture. We're going to keep a watch out for him. But right now we're going to continue to follow Stephanie Buchanan as she makes her way toward the finish line.
Yeah, as we've been telling you, she is from Bristol. She's 35 years old. Certainly no newcomer to this kind of thing. She's done this a time or 5.
And she looks great coming across the bridge. Here she is, less than half a mile to the finish, and looks amazing. Checking her watch to see
she's really
if she's on
time,
pace.
Yeah.
Well, this becomes a time too where whatever her pace goal was, she's trying to make sure that she gets there within that time. And so this last little bit becomes very important if the time is what you are going after for the day. But she's going to get the win. She looks great. And, again, just proud. We were proud earlier, now proud for her too, finishing this strong.
Dominating.
Yeah. She has dominated.
No one is behind her.
No, and
Within
last
sight.
we heard it was about 1:30 that second place was behind her, so she has come out and just commanded the entire morning.
It's
So
really great
kudos
to hear.
her.
Yes, and it's great to hear all the cheers.
Looking around,
She
making sure
is.
she knows where she's going. You don't want to make a bad turn at
No,
this point,
not
right?
here. And good news is it's pretty self-contained as well coming into the finish line. So you just, as long as you just keep going.
I guess also too, you want to make sure you do have half-mile finishers still coming in. You want to make sure that she's got plenty of room. She's making sure she's got a lane to run in there.
Exactly. So this becomes a little bit trickier because you do have a lot of the half marathoners that are coming through. It gets a little more congested during this time. So making sure that she's safe, making sure that they're safe. And that she can still finish strong, but we also want them to finish strong. So it becomes a little bit of a juggling act here in this last stretch.
Yeah, there's a bit of a cluster.
I would say a little congested
of runners
right there. She should be coming around the corner here soon. In just a moment, she'll be crossing the finish line. You saw her go by just a second ago. So again, congratulations to her. She still has a little bit of traffic ahead of her. There she is, making her way to the finish line, and yes. She is done. Stephanie Buchanan, nice job.
Nice work to her.
So we're hearing 2:44.27.
27.
Okay.
2:44.27 for Stephanie Buchanan.
That is a great time, female-wise, on this course. Our course record was in 2005, the very first year, 2:41.41.
Okay.
So it will stand for another year.
It will stand for another year. She ran, if that's her exact time, 2:44.27 will be the same time that Camille Herron ran in 2014.
Oh my goodness.
So that's fun that it's the exact same time. But that makes her in the top 3 times overall.
Wow.
So with the 2:44, she'll either have the second fastest time or the third fastest time on this course.
Pace. I mean, we were watching her throughout the day, and it really looked like she ever hit a wall at any point.
No, she looked
She may
great.
tell us differently.
She may say differently, but she
on the
looked
outside,
great.
it did not appear that, yeah.
Well, just like when we talked to Amanda, who looked like she never lost the pace, she said she wasn't feeling well. She was the female top finisher for the half marathon, and she said, I was not feeling great at all. You'd never know.
No.
So more of the runners right now making their way toward the finish line as we continue to watch the rest of the field. Still quite a few people out on the track right now.
Yes, let's go to Lexi. She is with Steve Martinez.
That's right.
Hey, Lori and Bo. Yeah, I mean, what an amazing morning for Mr. Martinez here. Hey, how are you feeling out there? This was actually your marathon debut.
Yeah, this is my marathon debut. Before this, I've run 2 half marathons. After 5 years off of running because due to a knee injury and all sorts of stuff after college, I started running again a year ago, and I've been planning to run a marathon for a while. So I just decided this was the best opportunity. I had 2 half marathons under my belt, so I just went for it.
Man, I mean, hey, going for it seemed to have paid off. How did you like the course? Obviously pretty hilly. How did the training go into that?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, Stone Mountain, and so I'm used to running around hills. And I was expecting this course to be pretty hilly, and the way I saw it, I mean, if I run a hilly course in my marathon debut, if I run a flat one later, it's only going to get better. So, I figured this was a good time, spring break, good opportunity for me to come out here and try to get it done. The course is pretty hilly, but honestly, not as bad as I thought. I'm not very good with the steep hills, but the gradual slopes I'm really good at. So.
Now, let's talk about your mindset a little bit. I know at one point you were kind of overtaking some other runners to get your way to the front. I mean, what is your mentality in that moment?
So shout out to my friend Eric Westhog. Ran with him in college. My buddy, he's run a 2:26 and a 2:27 marathon. His advice was to go out even slower than you think you need to because the marathon is a long race, double half what I'm used to running.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I didn't go out in the lead. I figured some people would fade, and I knew some people were running the half, so I didn't want to go out with them when they're only running half the distance I am.
Yeah.
So I just slowly started to pick people off, and then around like 17 miles in, I got up to the leader, and I could see he was fading, so I knew it was, in my wheelhouse to win.
Yeah.
I knew I could do it, so I just took the lead and went for it.
Thank you so much for being here and taking time to interview with us. We know that you want to go stretch out, get some Gatorade, and hey, hopefully rest up a little bit, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Of course.
And another thing, like, I never used gels before, so I took advice from my buddy Eric and just had one every 30 minutes, and I was able to fight off some cramps in my stomach and calves. So if you feel like you're gonna cramp, just take some gels because it helps a lot. Also, I was saying I had an MRI just 9 days ago. I have torn cartilage in my hip and a bone deformity. So, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but yeah, don't let anything stop you. Any adversity you have, you can overcome any obstacle. I promise you. Just keep training and don't give up.
Steve Martinez, thank you so much. All right, guys, you heard it from the pros. Back to you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so he's battling back from a knee injury. He had an MRI
9 days ago.
For some
torn cartilage in his hip.
And first marathon ever.
25 years
Knocks
old.
it out of the park.
Impressive.
Way to go, Steve Martinez. We'll be back. Welcome back to our coverage, our live coverage of the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon.
Right now we want to head down to World's Fair Park. Allison Smith joins us right now with the top woman runner today, Stephanie Buchanan.
Hey, thank you, Bo. Yes, I'm here with Stephanie Buchanan, who we've been watching very closely all this morning. Stephanie, congratulations. And how are you feeling right now?
Feeling good, in shock a little bit. Wasn't really expecting to win, but I'm super happy with it. The course was great. The weather was great. The entertainment throughout the course was awesome, and the support. So it was fun.
Well, and you were saying there's been a gap since you did your last full marathon, then this full marathon. Stephanie came in thinking it was going to be 2 hours 55 minutes. You crushed it. It was 2 hours and 44 minutes. So just talk to us about the prep and how it had really been so long since your last full marathon.
Well, I mean, I've been running lots of miles still, but I wasn't really planning on running another full, but it was kind of a random decision one day, like, oh, maybe I should just do one more.
Why not?
Yeah.
And you have a great support system. We had our little one just run up right here too, who's joining Stephanie. So talk to me really quick. I'll ask you one more question. Just talk to me about your family support, because you can't get through this without them.
My husband, I would never be able to do any of this training without him watching those two. So he's really been super supportive and helpful and always
Park and our own Allison Smith. Allison.
Hey, I am here with the winner of the female marathon runners, Stephanie Buchanan. We have been watching you all morning, Stephanie. You just finished and crossed the finish line. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling good. Happy with how I did. Shocked, but super happy.
You should not be shocked. You should be proud. Okay, so you were telling me that it's been a while since you ran your last full marathon, had kids in between, been a couple years. What made you say, hey, I want to get back out there and run 26 miles?
I don't know, to be honest. I just kind of sporadically was like, oh, maybe I'll just do one more. Just see how it goes.
What did you think about this course? Because I've heard a few different things from runners. What were your thoughts?
I really liked it. I don't like totally flat courses as much, so I like the rolling hills. And I live and I'm from Northeast Tennessee, so used to hills, and so it was good.
Well, and just a second ago, we had your little one running around over here. I don't know where he went, but family support, huge part of this. A lot of training that goes in there. They're here. Just talk to me about how important they have been through this whole experience.
I would never have been able to keep up my running without my husband's support, and he's always been super supportive on my love for running. And so without him and my mom, who lives close by and watches my kids, I would never be able to have kept this up. So I'm really thankful.
Well, Stephanie, we are so amazed by you. Congrats again. And we will send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Allison, thank you very much. Yeah, Stephanie was hoping to run in 2:55. She ran it in 2:44.
Way to go. Yeah. And she said it was a random decision
to
run the marathon after being off for a few years, had some kids, thanked her husband for all his support.
Look at this style. Got the kilt. Forget the running shorts. You never know out on the course what you're going to see.
You see a little bit of everything, right?
All right, stay with us. We got more just ahead.
Michelle!
All right, welcome back to the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. We saw these gentlemen earlier in the race.
Oh my goodness, with the rucksacks. And you said they could weigh up to what, 50 pounds?
50 pounds, I believe. So they've done 13, finishing their 13.1, carrying all that weight.
Hats off to them.
Yes, I'm going to applaud them.
Yes, I was going to say, and I'm sure the crowd that you see right here at the finish line at World Fair Park will be doing the same here shortly, as they were just now entering the park area. So what an accomplishment for them.
And you know, you look at folks like that, obviously training goes into this, not just for the ones with the rucksack and really making something even bigger out of this, but these elite runners and people who just do it for recreation. Nutrition is important.
Nutrition is always going to be important. And one of the things, a lot of folks think that they're going to go into a training cycle and lose weight. And most of the times you don't. If you're doing it correctly, you're probably not going to lose weight unless you're just starting your running journey. Now, you'll see people who go couch to 5K and lose some weight. But honestly, you need to make sure that you're replenishing. So before an event, before a long run or before a race, you want to make sure you're having a good mix of carbs, a good mix of proteins and fats so that your body is fueled. And then when you finish, you want to replenish everything as quickly as you can. So, a lot of people will take a protein shake or some kind of post-workout shake that they can drink immediately, and that helps to restore everything that you've just lost.
And I think if you're a family member, you need to do that too. I know my wife used to run, and I would have to grab her jacket at one spot, and then she would say, meet me at mile marker or whatever. You're running from one spot to the other. That's what they don't see, the families running between different mile markers, trying to, I got to get you your water, I got to grab your jacket,
absolutely.
you're going to leave it here, you're going to do that, right?
One of the years that Jason ran the Chickamauga Battlefield Marathon, I think I ended up with 16 miles. Going back, and I didn't plan to do 16 miles, but I ended up going back and forth so many times, and I felt great. And by the end of the day, I didn't have any food of my own or drinks.
I was always so tired I never saw my wife finish her race, because by the time she finished, she always beat me to the finish line. I was trying to catch up with her to meet her at the line, and she would always beat me there.
We try to be there when Jason comes across whenever he races. I've only missed him a couple of times.
Hey, some of these great shots that we've been seeing, and we talked about it earlier, have been all due to Medium Motos. This is a company setting up in cycles. They were doing that earlier this week. We caught up with them to kind of get us ready for today.
This company also debuting a first in this country for the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon.
Using the electric motorcycles for the first time in the US, or the first year in the US for electric. We've used them in Europe quite a bit, but these things are going to be great for the marathons.
No test run here.
Those bikes, there was a pancake fest earlier, but both these bikes had two seats, one for the pilot, as they call it, or the driver, the other for obviously the photographer that you're seeing some of these great shots. But we were talking earlier, it's electric, so you don't have to worry about the fumes, the noise, anything like that.
Any of that distraction. And
great for the runners too, because that's one of the things that you worry about. And when you've got your elites up front, and then you've got a bike that's been a gas right in their face. So this is fantastic. It's been great shots all day.
And they said the hills. It's been perfect
for
all of that. So we welcome them. We're glad they're part of it. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
We have crowned the winners, but the race continues. Live look for you. Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon, Sevier Avenue, South Knoxville.
Hey, we're proud of everybody who has come out today, but it's been so exciting to watch those elite runners.
Yeah.
And you can actually kind of see the wheels spinning in their head. You know, when they check their watch, they ditch the water, they ditch the little gel pack, and they keep moving and they don't stop their pace. It's just really fun. Don Dare has also had a lot of fun. He's been actually cheering people on as he's been reporting. Don is at Market Square. Don.
Yeah, we're at mile marker 25-2. One more mile to go for all the runners. We've been talking all morning about this being a family affair, the half marathon, the marathon, the relays, and we are with a family, Jordan and Abby. And what is that you have right here?
That's the finisher's medal. So, yeah, the half marathon medal for getting it done today. Pretty fun. First one I've ever done. So
your first.
Yep.
The first time you've run a half marathon.
Yes. Yeah.
What's his training been like, Abby?
Hey, most Saturdays he's out there running long miles, and then during the week he runs 2 or 3 times a week. So he's been working hard.
Yeah.
You know, now he's addicted to it.
Yes,
it is fun.
He is.
It is
yes.
fun.
Half marathon today, and what is it going to be next year?
I don't know. We'll have to play that by ear. Probably another half. I think we'll keep doing halves, and we'll see. I don't know. Maybe a marathon one day. But
and how did you do today?
2 hours. 2 hours, so like a 9:20 pace. I felt pretty good about it.
That is really good.
Yeah, thank
really
you.
good for
Thank
the
you.
first time
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And I know that you are proud of your daddy, aren't you?
Yep.
Were you proud?
They were my support. They had signs along the way and were cheering for me, so it was fun.
And that's what made a difference, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. It was like
encouraging you to finish.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Now you can go in and have breakfast.
Yes.
Okay.
Lots.
Sounds
Thank you.
good.
Now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lori and Bo, this is what it's all about. As I said earlier, it is about family, and this is Market Square, and we don't see anyone coming down yet. Well, here we have a runner coming down right now. They have really, this first pack of runners has really been separated from the folks who just do it casually. Jordan is an example of what this is all about. Back to you, Lori and Bo.
I love it that he said, I'm going to have a lot of breakfast.
There you go. He deserves it. Stay with us. We have more coverage for you in just a moment.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Boy, we are starting to wind down our coverage coming up in just a few minutes of the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. And what a fun, exciting day it has been.
There's a live look in South Knoxville right now. Some of the runners heading toward Island Home. Others have made their way through Island Home. You see them running away from you, heading back toward Gay Street and the eventual finish line. So again, congratulations to all the runners. It's been a beautiful day out there as well.
It's been a gorgeous day. Some 6,300 were registered to run today, and it's just been an incredible day.
Let's go back to Talon Kurjan. They're down there in South Knoxville along Sevier Avenue, just outside Island Home. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
I know, we're having such a great time. We saw a couple hundred people passing through Island Home and then wrapping back around, heading back to Gay Street to finish it all. And there's got to be there, like we heard from Steven Martinez, the guy that's been leading the pack and made it to the finish line already. There was a saving grace that got him through that he mentioned. It's these gel packs, and we're hanging out with one of our volunteers right now, Ryan. And Ryan, would you say that these gels are like the holy grail of the Knoxville Marathon?
Possibly, yeah. They're filled with amino acids, sodium, and helps the runners be fueled and replace any nutrients that might be depleted this far along the race.
I like it. We're going to need to try one of these after.
Absolutely.
We had an early wake-up call. But
super down for that. And also, it's been such a beautiful day. The music is going on as well. And you are a volunteer here along with some friends. You're having a lot of fun. What is it like for you volunteering for this event?
It's really fun. It's we're a big group here at the Appalachian Mountain Bike Club. And as a non-runner, you can help out still, be a big part of the community. Setting up this morning and giving out water, Gatorade, and some people giving out beer. So it's a great time, and we're cheering the runners along to help finish the race.
Awesome. We'll really appreciate all you do. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
And we're just talking about the bands that are all along the course.
It really helps out inspire these runners.
Great. It's nice to have the music, especially if you're not going to take music with you, and you get to see local bands. All of these folks are from around here, still coordinated by Dave Landio, who used to live here and moved to Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, but he coordinates every year from afar.
Yeah.
And some years he can come in and play, some years he can't. This year he was staying in South Carolina. But, we really appreciate the work that he puts into it. Most of these bands, this is not their time of day to play. So it's nice that we have 26 that will agree to get up early on a Sunday and come out and play music for our runners.
Yeah, but it is good, and having been out there before, it is great just to kind of give you that extra little something when you're looking for some energy boost. Hear some of that music. So
between that and the crowd and the high fives we're seeing just between the runners, I think it's just a wonderful spirit out there. Stay with us, everybody. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
Texas Mountain Bike Club.
Oh, look at them. Yeah, they are all set
Here's
up.
a group.
Cheering them on Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. This is what awaits a lot of the runners along the race route, which is fantastic.
Oh, goodness. Let's take you down to World's Fair Park with Lexi and some of our finishers and some other folks.
Hey, Lori, Bo, Christy. Okay, so this is a group of people that we really haven't chatted with yet. We're talking about the relay finishers, okay? And actually, they're still waiting on their final guy here. And hey, this one was the one who had the idea to do this with his friends. Tell us about why you wanted to do this.
Yeah, well, I think all of us, Dawson included, who's not here yet, we're waiting on. We all are kind of runners by hobby and just enjoy it for the exercise and communal aspects of it. So I had the idea probably a few months ago to run the marathon relay because I know we've all run a variety of different races before. They've run the relay before. I said, let's do the Knoxville Marathon relay. It'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And okay, so you guys broke it up. How did you go about dividing and deciding who would do what?
Well, since I figured it was my idea to get us into this, I would take the longest leg, and then I kind of let them fight amongst themselves for the rest of it.
Exactly. And you got stuck with the hilly portion. How were you feeling out there?
It was pretty rough. It's called Sequoia Hills for a reason, so it was pretty rough. But it was fun. I mean, it's a blast. It's a great event. I mean, it really is a great time to do this. So.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about, hey, why you would encourage others to run the relay, even though you're still waiting on your final member.
Yeah, I think it's just a great time. It's a great opportunity to get together with your friends and to train together. It gives you an opportunity to spend an hour a day together just training and bettering yourself and getting in better shape and getting involved in the community and also raising money for a good cause. So I think it's just a great opportunity all around.
Hey, good job, guys. Go cheer on Dawson as he comes on in, and we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Lexi, thank you. And I'm just going to say, if we put a relay together, Christy gets the long run.
Yes,
okay.
Right.
And the hills.
I'll take that one. It's fine. I'll take it.
I'd be
It's
the
a
one
good
they're
part of the
waiting
course.
on.
The one you're still waiting on. All right.
It's a great way, though, to get integrated into an event like this.
Really
you get to test out the distance a little bit without committing to the full 13.1, and you get to do it with friends.
Yeah, one of my
Train
sons
together.
has done that, had a great time.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be right back. Stay with us.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. We're watching folks as they continue to make their way. Well, they're making their way across the bridge as they try to get closer there to the finish line. Everybody having a good time today and working so hard. And one thing we wanted to tell you about is this year's marathon community partner. It is the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, and they do a lot. Obviously, they have their healthy lifestyle program, but Christy, I know that when we see some of the video here, I mean, this was a great partner to be associated with.
A great partner, and we have always tried to pick other organizations to partner with throughout the years, just to be a good steward in the community, because so many people help us. And this has been a really great program. You know, these kids are getting out, they're getting active. They brought hundreds to the Kids Run kickoff, weeks ago, and they had hundreds out this weekend. And again, we talked earlier this morning, this is a great time to get them associated with the sport of running.
Yeah.
They may not run competitively, but if they get in it and they have fun, so many years people used running as a punishment, they're learning that it's fun to run and that it's something they can do all the time.
And to keep up with how they're doing, I love that.
You never know, we may see them competing one of these days, like this runner right here. We've seen a lot of them out on the course, that is for sure.
You're looking at our position along Gay Street, the beautiful Tennessee Theater, and people running by as this marathon continues for so many folks. And Christy, I know people at home who aren't runners maybe, or maybe are recreationally, they're thinking, I'm inspired, I want to do this next year. So they need to go ahead and start training, tomorrow?
They can start any time. The lovely thing about our community is that we have at least one road race. There's usually 3 or 4 every single month. So if you're on the sofa and you're thinking, man, I would love to do something like that, a Couch to 5K is a great way to start. And then from there, as we get back into the fall, we do a training run every weekend that's free that leads up to this event. So we start in November and we build to the half marathon distance and to the full marathon distance. We invite people to come. We usually have 150 people that show up. So you're going to find somebody every pace and distance. And you meet new people, you get to practice your running, and you get to see a great part of the city.
And surround yourself with people who have healthy lifestyle, lots of great goals, and boy, this is really a good one.
Yeah.
And if running's not your thing, as you've seen throughout, there are tons of volunteers out there
Over
helping keep you on the course. there's drinks, what have you, just getting everything set up. So,
Everything.
hey, we want to say again, congratulations going out to Alan Carino and Amanda Martin. They were our half marathon winners today. And the full marathon, Stephen Martinez and Stephanie Buchanan.
Wow, great times,
Yeah.
great representation. I'm still blown away by the fact that this was Steve Martinez's first marathon.
I can't
and
wait
the first
to watch
time to
him.
try those energy gels.
That's right.
Yeah,
that was brave.
Yeah, that was really brave. So I can't wait to see what he does. I'm gonna go follow him when I leave here today and see what he does.
Chrissy, thank you as well.
Thank you.
And we want to remind everybody you can watch the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon again right now on the WATE 6 YouTube channel. You can find it by going to YouTube and searching WATE 6 on your side.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you to Covenant Health and everybody involved.